How's everybody doing? There's a lot of people here today. And yeah. Hey Dracolome, hey Verdant, nice to see you. Hey Pia, hey Martin, and hey Dave, the Vegan Anthem. Oh, a lot of cool people today in the chat. Hey Pig's Dream, nice to see you here. I already took a screenshot of his disgraceful comments. Yeah, I saw, hey Mr. Manx, I saw, who was it? Verdant? No, who was it that said Yonzuk? Said that they're no longer vegan or something? That's kind of weird, right? Not sure if they're the ones or it's a fake account. I haven't checked, so be careful with that. I just assumed it's a fake account, not sure. How are you guys hearing me, by the way? Are you hearing me okay? There's a lot of people today outside. It's a beautiful weather, and yeah, we're hoping to get some conversations, and we're going to try to do it a little bit differently today, so let's see. You want to try a social experiment? Yes, sound is fine, great. Mary and he might need to go on a low FODMAP diet for a while. I did it and it did the trick. Yeah. Is Yonzuk having issues with his diet? Is that what I'm understanding? These people who sat down right behind me now, and it's hard for people to stop by because they're in the way. I might move. Hey Navia. Hey Tone.
Are you guys with me? Say yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody a little closer to the line. Let's make it happen. Let's get organized, everybody. Thank you.
Jackie Boyle. Hey Jackie Boyle, it's nice to see you here. Yeah, it's a lovely day, yes.
Thank you. Slowly it's becoming like a show.
It's a lovely day, but it's not that warm, by the way. But today I have the good t-shirt on. Let me show you. It says organic dog meat. Yes. You guys want to try a social experiment? I might need to move because of these people behind me. So annoying. Hi, Linda. You want to try a social experiment? Linda's feeling bad? Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. Get well soon. Oh, Veg98, thank you so much for the super chat. Are there other activists with you? No, today I'm alone. Vegan Future Amsterdam is every 2 weeks on Sundays, and tomorrow we're going to be doing We the Free. You want to try a social experiment? Tomorrow we're gonna be doing with the free, so yeah. Tomorrow I'm not gonna be live, but I'm still be doing activism with We the Free because I'm an organizer there. So yeah. If any of you are in Amsterdam or would like to join We the Free, please join. What is the temperature? I think it's 7 or 8 degrees. It's actually quite nice, but it's gonna drop to 0 in the evening. So, yeah. I'm actually feeling quite warm right now. I have like a lot of layers on me, but that's good. It's better to feel warm than feeling cold, huh? So, yeah. Stomach problems are horrible, but in most cases they can be solved. Yeah, indeed. It seems like a non-issue to start explaining animals for that, right? Hey Lizzie, nice to be here. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
Sure.
Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Sam.
Nice to meet you, Sam. Where are you from?
I'm from the U.S.
Okay, nice. So I'll just turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
I disagree.
Okay. Why? Oh, actually, you know what? Let me explain to you my situation. So, have you ever heard of Elwood?
No.
So Elwood, we're an organic dog meat. Organic dog meat. We're both in US and Australia, and we're trying to get in Europe. And what we do is basically we breed the dogs for the sole purpose of slashing their throat, killing them, and eating them afterwards.
Is this a joke?
No. The reality is that it's actually far better for the environment. It's a lot of dogs have way more leaner meat, and it's therefore also better for you.
Oh, I see. Interesting. I suppose animal abuse is legal, considering what they do in factory farms already.
Yeah.
So you just do that with dogs instead.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
So it should be legal, right?
No, I think it should all be illegal, including the factory farms that do exist.
Why? I mean, I'm assuming you consume animal products, so what's the difference?
I do not, actually.
You don't consume animal products?
Yes.
Oh, are you vegan?
I'm a vegetarian.
Oh, okay. So, well, you know that all the animals, including the ones farmed for dairy or eggs, they all end up in slaughterhouses, so it's still animal abuse, right?
Not really. I've seen animals that are treated, like farm animals that are treated right.
Oh, we treat them very nice. We treat the dogs very nicely.
Yeah.
Just that when the time comes, we kill them. And that happens across all animal agriculture. Why would that be wrong?
Well, yeah. I don't know the conditions of the places where you have the dogs, but in the meat industry, specifically with cows and chickens, they aren't treated very well.
No, we treat them nicely, and when the time comes, that's usually around 1 year old, because then that's when they grow the biggest. That's when we kill them.
Yeah. I don't suppose you have a lot of people trying to eat dog meat, though.
I mean, we're trying to get there. We base it on the fact that it's a lower environmental footprint.
Okay. I do care about the environment.
Yeah.
In fact, that's why I don't eat meat.
Okay. So then you would be okay with you would be okay with legalizing animal abuse?
No.
No. Well, again, why not? Because you seem to be okay with it.
It's legal in the U.S., you say?
Yeah.
And in England?
Well, no, U.S. and Australia.
Oh, in Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. I do live in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, I really don't know.
You really don't know.
Yeah.
So,
But I get your point. If we're okay with one thing, why not the other?
Exactly.
They're effectively the same.
yeah, so this is kind of like a bit I do that's reverse psychology. I try to talk to people about it. Yeah. So you say you're vegetarian, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm obviously against animal abuse, but do you know there's a lot of abuse happening also again to the animals that are bred for milk or for meat? Sorry, for milk or for eggs, because you're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then how can you be against animal abuse if you still support it, if you pay for it?
Well, I mean, there's a difference between cows that are farmed for meat versus cows that are farmed for milk.
What's the difference? I would say it's way more cruel what they do for milk.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what happens to them, for example?
Yeah.
So can you walk me through it? Can you walk me through the life of a dairy cow?
I've never been a dairy cow or worked in that industry, but I am familiar with how they go about it. Vaguely familiar. I couldn't tell you.
Ah, okay, that's fine. So cows produce milk because they're mammals. They're like us. They produce milk only when they have babies. So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them. You know, literally somebody puts their hands in their anus, hold their cervix, and injectable semen in their vagina. And when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
You tell me.
So they get separated from their mother because they need to control how much milk they drink because they need to sell the milk, right? A lot of the times they don't drink the milk at all, and a lot of the times they never see their mothers again. If the baby is born a male, they don't produce milk, so what do you think happens to them?
Well, they die.
Yeah, well, they don't die, they get killed, yeah.
Well, that's, dying.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same, right? Like, everybody on Earth is going to die. Not everybody on Earth is going to get killed.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so, and if they're born female, year over year, forceful impregnation for 6 to 8 years. So every year, they're forcefully impregnated. They have their babies taken away from them. And after 6 to 8 years, when they can no longer impregnate them with ease, then they kill them. Is that not abusive?
Killing?
Well, is it not sexual abuse to forcefully impregnate a cow? Is it not abusive to take away their babies? Is it not abusive to kill their babies?
That's the abuse.
Yeah.
But the killing is usually done humanely.
Is there such a thing as humane killing?
Yeah, well, in the cattle industry, the cows are pacified before they brutally dismember their corpse.
So the cows are what, sorry?
Pacified.
What's pacified?
Like rendered unconscious.
Oh, well, that doesn't happen, no. They use a bolt gun, but even if that would happen, would that be okay? If in the situation where it's dogs, if I tranquilize them, does that make me killing them okay?
No,
So then why would it be okay with cows?
it's not.
It's not.
I never said it was.
No, but with your actions, you do say that it is when you buy animal products, right?
Well, I mean, it's hard being a vegetarian. I had to incorporate some meat back in my diet because I had vitamin and nutrient deficiencies.
Oh, so you do so do you also participate in the abuse of animals for meat?
I try to avoid it as much as possible, but there's a line like there's only so much I can do.
Well, you could supplement if you have some deficiencies.
Yeah, but when you're taking like 5 supplements a day, it's like you feel good for what you're doing, but it's just something I couldn't keep doing.
I don't see why you need to take 5 supplements though. Like, why don't you just take a multivitamin if it's 5 supplements?
I don't know. Maybe I could do that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, can you really be against animal abuse if you pay for it and you have other options available?
Well, the other options are very limited. It's very hard to not consume meat in most of the world.
Where do you live?
I live in Germany.
Oh, Germany is very easy to not consume meat.
Really? Is it?
Yeah.
The part of Germany I live in?
Where?
Bremen.
I don't know. Oh, Bremen, like the city?
Yes.
Yeah, it's easy. Any city. If you have access to a supermarket, you have access to pretty much any resources. Hell, I'm come from Romania. I've been to Romania, and it's in Romania where you wouldn't think you have options. You still have a lot of options.
Really?
Yeah, like it doesn't really matter. You have access to vegetables, beans, rice, tofu, tempeh. If you have that, that's all you need. If you want convenience, you have plant-based meats, which you also have in Germany.
Yeah, well, where I come from, in Oakland, California, there was this vegan shack down the road. All vegan food, it was great. I don't get that luxury anymore.
There's a lot of vegan places, I'm sure, there also.
I've never seen one.
But have you looked it up on Google?
Well, I haven't gone out of my way to look up.
So then don't you
places.
think you have an obligation to go out of your way and look up a place whether they have vegan options or not before you decide to pay for somebody to get killed for you?
Do I have an obligation?
A moral
No.
obligation, considering that you say you're against animal abuse, then shouldn't you have that obligation? Otherwise, you're not against animal abuse.
Well, it's not a binary. I don't have to like completely phase out meat from my diet in order to morally be doing the right thing. I can do is
You have to in order
I
to be
can do
against
more-
animal abuse.
I can do more than the status quo, and that's all right.
So
And
then you support some animal abuse.
well, if everyone does more than the status quo, that's better than
For who?
than no one doing it at all.
Better for who?
For the animals and for the people. Like less animals dying is better for the animals.
Yeah. But how about the animals that you choose for them to die when you again have other options?
Well, when I go to the store, and when most people go to the store, I imagine they don't say, "I want that cow dead." They don't choose what's dying.
Oh, I understand that what happened in
It's
the
just-
past,
It's
but
laid out in front of them. It's just too convenient.
I understand that, but like going forward, right? Like after having this conversation with me, after realizing that what you're doing is paying for animal abuse. How can you morally justify going forward buying animal products when you know that you're paying for animal abuse?
I don't know. I suppose I'd be doing the morally wrong thing to do, but I do feel I'm doing better than most people
Yeah, I mean,
because I'm at least making that attempt.
somebody during slavery times who had 10 slaves was doing worse than somebody who only had one slave.
Yeah.
But they're still enslaving somebody.
Yeah.
They're still taking away the liberty of somebody away.
Yeah.
So how is that okay? I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. I don't think you're better just because you exploit or slaughter less animals. You still see them as resources. You still see them as something for you to consume. Just
Yeah.
because you do it less means it's somehow a quantifier for you to feel good about yourself.
But humans are omnivores. We're not really meant to be eating no meat at all.
we're opportunistic omnivores. We used to eat meat when we needed to, or because we didn't have anything else to.
And I consider myself lucky that I get to choose what I eat. A lot of people, especially in Africa, aren't able to. Like, some of them are just starving. Some of them, they don't have food at all.
So then why do you choose
Like, so
to
food is
force an
something you
animal
take-
into a slaughterhouse? If you have the opportunity of choice, why do you choose to force an animal into a slaughterhouse?
I'm not the one doing the forcing.
But you're the one paying for it. It starts with you.
I eat very little meat.
Yeah, so very few animals go into a slaughterhouse for you.
Yeah. And if everyone else was like me,
Animals would still be seen as commodities, just like you still see them as commodities.
You
Animals would still be objectified, just like you still objectify them.
you could reasonably support the whole world with cruelty farming. If everyone ate not a significant amount of meat. Like just enough to.
How about we farm humans?
I don't think you could do that.
Why? According to your own morals, you should, as long as you farm less, right? Rather than everybody else.
Very few places you can get away with cannibalism, and that's also
Legally.
legally, yes, but the factory farming is legal.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to understand where your morals are, because right now, as far as I understand, where your morals say it's wrong to abuse animals, yet you choose to pay for it, then you say, well, I'm doing better than others, and if everybody was doing the same, animals would still be abused and seen as resources, but less animal would be abused. It's just like somebody who rapes women every day and then says, well, I personally reduced my raping up to once per day.
Yeah.
I'm better than other rapists, sure, but you're still a rapist.
But what about ethically farmed animals? Like there's this.
How do you ethically farm humans?
I have family in rural Hungary, a little town where there are no supermarkets. Everyone grows their own food. They have farm animals that are treated right. There's no sticking their hands into anuses or anything like that.
As long as they're milked, there's forceful impregnation. Either with the dildo or they force a bull onto them, there's
They don't
forceful
do that.
impregnation. Otherwise, they don't produce milk. There's only way to produce milk. It's a mammal. It's biological. They have to have a baby,
Okay.
and they only produce it for a year. Afterwards, their milk production declines dramatically.
I don't drink much milk either.
Much milk, a little bit.
Do you drink any milk?
No, of course not. I'm vegan. I choose to respect animals.
Okay, that's good for you, but it's not easy for everyone. Like
It seems easy to you.
it's not.
What do you mean? You literally just said that you have the luxury of choice.
I do have the luxury of choice.
So then it's easy. You just have to choose. That's all you have to do is just choose.
Well, the choice.
The animals don't have any choice. The animals who go into slaughterhouses for you don't have any choice.
That's right. But the choice is not that simple. I get to choose between an easier way of eating meat without any supplements or anything like that, or veganism where it's not the case.
Where it's not the case? What do you mean? I just have the one supplement, B12, and I had B12 even before I was vegan. Because B12, you know what? B12 is a vitamin that cows, by the way, are supplemented. And if you're going to be eating biological, there's a high chance that you're not going to be getting enough B12 anyway. So you need to supplement B12.
Yeah.
So how can you morally justify forcing animals into slaughterhouses? I just don't understand.
I can't.
You can't. So then what is the difference between you and any other person who committed horrible atrocities in all humanity? They
No.
just did what they were taught to do and considered it normal.
No difference. Suppose I'm just as bad as everyone else.
So do you really want to live by that?
No.
I mean, I'm not here to scold you, man. I'm just here to speak up on their behalf. And as soon as you say you have options and you have the luxury of choice, why not choose to never put an animal to a slaughterhouse? I mean, how many more animals should we put into slaughterhouses for you?
For me,
Yeah,
ideally 0.
ideally 0. Then you gotta go vegan, man. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Can I give you a card to look into it?
I'm okay. I gotta go,
Okay.
but I appreciate your message there.
Okay, I hope you look into it and stop abusing animals.
Yeah, you're a smart fella.
Thank you.
You know a lot.
Have a good one. But it's interesting to get them to argue, huh? That's what I want to do today. I don't know. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you heard the whole conversation from the beginning, but hey, you guys want to try a social experiment?
We have to go think of it.
That's okay. I don't know if you guys heard from. He was a non-vegetarian, vegetarian lol. Yeah, exactly. Also ridiculous. Again, please be polite in the chat. Yeah, Martin. Thank you for saying that. Please, everybody, be polite in the chat. We have moderators in the chat, and if you are not polite, then you might be timed out. Martin says, well, a different Martin. Oh, for fuck's sake, a vegan. Yeah, do you even know what vegan is, Martin? You know what, just for the sake of differentiating, the good Martin, the awesome Martin, Martin Kevin, is an awesome Martin, and you, the other Martin, will be Martin. So Martin, tell me, do you even know what a vegan is? Or what is veganism to you? Look at this. 10% for the big guy says, we aren't abusing animals. We are eating them for survival, regardless of what your opinions are. Opinions, by the way, there's no apostrophe for opinions. We aren't murdering animals. I don't know what you meant there, but listen, it's pretty simple. You are abusing animals. Cutting the throat of an innocent animal, it is abuse. You could probably justify it in the past by saying that you needed it, but you can't justify it today because you have readily available options. So then there is absolutely no way for you to justify the abuse that you cause to animals, that you support. Jedi asks, what social experiment are you doing? Jedi, the other part of the sign says that animal abuse should be legal. And let's see. Joseph Hamrick says, go eat a sandwich. I actually just ate one before coming here, thank you. But thank you for your concern. William Fowler says, you are passive-aggressive and it's annoying. William Fowler, I'm just trying to be respectful. Of course I'm going to dismantle all your arguments if you have ridiculous arguments. T-Town says, I will never stop eating animal meat. And just FYI, you see, that's the whole prerogative, right? When it comes to people who support animal abuse for their own pleasure, they always bring up what they want to do, what they like to do. It's me, me, me. That's always how it is with people who support animal abuse. It's always how it is. They always talk about themselves only. They never really talk about the victims. They never really talk about the fact that they could stop oppressing animals. But yeah, it's a selfish thing that people do. And a lot of the times, by the way, FYI, is a lot of you people in the chat who are not vegan, a lot of you actually would probably not abuse dogs for food, but abuse cows for food, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world, by far. Can you show your sign? My sign says, come, I'm doing a social experiment, come talk to me. Sadly, YouTube is reversing the image, so I don't know if you can read it. Death Letter Blues says, because we don't care. Yeah, Death Letter Blues, obviously, it's the same, you know, the slave owners during slavery times also didn't care about the slaves particularly, right? They could always get another slave, they could always breed other slaves into existence. They didn't really care about them. And of course, they didn't care about anything but themselves. Just like you don't really care about anybody but yourself when you support animal abuse. We domesticated dogs, not cows. No. We domesticated both dogs and cows. In fact, there's a lot of cultures in this world. Well, a lot. There's barely left, but there were a lot of cultures in this world where they ate dogs. So means nothing. This guy has a pet dog but hates slavery. I don't have any pet, no. Martin, I see you timing people out. I hope you know to not time people out unless they're being disrespectful, as you say. Or they did, just keep in mind that a lot of people who have an issue with vegans, they will be somewhat disrespectful, but You guys want to try a social experiment? They are being very rude, says Martin. Yeah, Martin, that's okay. Like, they will be rude, because their views are challenged. Just keep that in mind. Everybody will be rude because that's how people are when their views are challenged. When they realize that the only way for them to save face is to be rude or to, yeah. Because a lot of the times people say they don't support animal abuse, but there you go. They just go around paying for it every day. So. It's sad that there has to exist a term for a person that respects animals, says Ariane. Exactly. Very well said. You want to try a social experiment?
Sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Of course, yeah.
What's your name?
Paul.
Paul. Nice to meet you, Paul. Where are you
Nice to
from?
meet you. I'm half French, half American.
Half French, half American.
Yeah.
Okay,
How are you?
I'll just turn this around. I'm a Chip. I'm from Romania originally, but I live here.
Okay.
So I'll just turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
No, not really.
No. Okay, so let me tell you what I do, just specifically so that maybe you will be on the same side as
Yeah.
me. So I'm a dog farmer. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I'm a,
you do breeds and stuff like that.
yeah. So what I do is I farm dogs, and when the time comes, that usually is around 1 year old, I put a bolt gun to their head, cut their throat, and then consume them. Like I use them for flesh.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm part of the organization called, or Elwoods. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elwoods.
I haven't heard of it, but I'll make sure to tune in.
Yeah, we're in the U.S. and Australia.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get in Europe. So I'm curious, how do you feel about that? Like, would you buy our meat?
Not really.
Why not?
I mean, I would try it, honestly.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Does it taste good?
Does it taste good? I mean, yes, it does taste good, and it's better for the environment because the environmental footprint of a dog is much less than of a cow.
Yeah. But then the yield of a cow is a lot higher than a dog.
Yeah, but even if you consider like how many dogs you would take, you'd still have a lower environmental footprint because dogs don't produce any methane.
Oh, I'm gonna trust you on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So then, would you say it's okay to abuse dogs for this purpose?
It's not really abuse, though, if it's humanely done. I guess,
I mean, it's pretty humane. Yeah, we bring
if
the.
it's like really humane,
Yeah, I mean, sure, we gotta, there's some
guess.
forceful impregnation happening there for the
Okay,
for the dogs.
So basically
but that's
saying
okay.
they
it's
get
still
treated
humane.
the same as like a cow or like.
Yeah, exactly like
or
a cow.
a pig does in a pen.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's a farm after all, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but that I guess you're using a decent argument because if we allow it for one species, but only allow it for the other one.
Okay.
So that's true.
Yeah.
Um,
I am using
I guess
reverse
you have
psychology.
the-
You caught on.
Yeah, you have the. I mean, you have the. That's your stance, and it makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah.
It's personally for me, I fall into that category of people who are like they have closer connections to dogs and cats and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Than they do to a cow.
But do you think that morally justifies slashing the throat of animals because we don't have a close connection to them?
I mean, no, not really. Like, do you feel like I benefit from it? I enjoy it. I don't really pay it that much mind.
So wouldn't it be the
but-
same in the case of dogs if we were to farm dogs?
No, of course.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't hold different species to a different standard.
Exactly.
It's double standard. But is it illegalized anywhere to do the same?
No, I think it is not. I don't think it's illegal.
Is
Yeah.
that real organization?
Yeah, it's a real organization, but we don't actually farm dogs. Of course, we're all vegans, and we
Yeah.
it's a whole thing where we
That's the thing,
we
if-
try to convince people
Yeah.
with this reverse psychology about showing
If you do
how it would be like. Yeah.
denote it as animal abuse, you have to prohibit it for all species.
Yeah, but it is
can't
abusive,
go-
right? At the end of the day, you are putting the
Yeah, of
knife to
course.
the throat of an innocent sentient
course,
being, and just because we breed them for that purpose doesn't make it right, does it?
No.
Yeah. So how does that equate with your views on other animals? Because I understand you view dogs and cats like
Yeah,
worthy
you know,
of
exactly,
being left
worthy
alone.
of being spared.
Yeah, worthy of being spared.
Honestly, it's just subjective. I can't really explain it. You know,
Is it subjective or is it that just that you were taught this way? Because for a lot of
I've
people,
had cats.
you've had cats.
I've
yeah.
had a dog as well.
Yeah.
In the past, I still have a cat, but not with me in Amsterdam because I'm a student here.
Yeah.
So, I guess the fact that it's personal makes it that way. Also, yeah, you are taught. You're conditioned societally to like certain animals and not like others.
But don't you think it's a conditioning anyway? Because, for example, pigs we still exploit and abuse, and there's no reason why you wouldn't have a pet pig.
True. There's no reason. I mean, yeah. But it's definitely still conditioning, I guess. You know, because
Yeah.
on the packaging of all the meat, you're also taught to like love the animals, but you love them for a different purpose. You know.
Yeah.
They'll never be pets. You're conditioned to see animals as pets and animals as food, and
But do you think that matters? Do you think it matters how we see them? Like, do you think that their moral consideration should be contingent on how we see them?
well, I mean, as far as morally, yeah, because morality is subjective. So if you, for example, The Life of Pi, the guy who was stuck on the raft with the tiger for, I don't know, almost a year, he's going to be really into tiger conservation and stuff like that. And so that's just like a personal relationship you build with that animal and that species. So that makes you like empathize with them more. But it's not really a moral argument. If you want to like prohibit it, you have to prohibit it equally for all species.
Yeah. So like.
Or you have to allow it for all species.
Yeah,
That's- which
exactly.
is true.
So if I was to say like, because you said that yes, it is the view that we have on them matters because it's subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I have a subjective view on you, and I don't know, it's not the case, but say I don't like you,
Yeah.
would that be? Do you think morally I would be within my rights to take your life?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Why is that?
Well, because there's regulations prohibiting that.
Well, let's
And also
imagine
it's
that
like-
there's no
yeah.
regulations, like no legal
There's no
repercussions.
regulations.
I'm literally talking about like the moral
It's
aspect
not
of
justified.
it. It's not
Obviously,
justified.
It's not justified.
Can you tell me why?
Well, I feel like the fact that you dislike me is, if you set a precedent that if you dislike anyone and you can kill them, then it's very harmful for society.
Yeah.
What are you
But
trying to get
not them, just you, right? Because
me.
what I'm trying to get at is because I usually want to ask also people why is it wrong to harm any individual, right? Like whether they're human or an animal. Why is it wrong to harm them?
Because you're causing them like unjust suffering. You're not allowed to be the judge, jury, executioner of
Exactly.
What you believe.
Exactly. So because they're an individual who would be feeling the repercussions of my harm, right?
Yeah.
Just like they would feel the repercussions of me killing them, just like they would feel everything else, right? So that's why it's wrong. So if you think it's wrong to do it to humans, then shouldn't the moral consistency be the moral consistent
Constant
point be
with-
to all
exactly, with
animals because they
animals.
would also feel the same thing, right?
True.
Yeah.
True.
So where do you land on this? What is it that you want to do? Do you want to continue being this oppressor, abuser, exploiter to animals, or do you want to change your ways and go vegan and leave animals alone and respect them, kind of like how you respect cats and dogs?
That's the thing. I honestly, to be clear honest with you, I don't really feel like I'm prepared to do that. I want to do that. Even I really enjoy eating meat, and obviously I can always think about these hypotheticals. In a perfect world, humans would only be carnivores if they would like hunt them back like they did, and use every single part of their body, stuff like that, not waste them, or be completely vegan. But
Well, who cares? Like, if somebody kills you, do you care if they use the whole part of your body, your whole body?
no. But like, for example, you raise a good point. I just personally, I feel like I don't need to. I can try and minimize my consumption and stuff like that. But yeah, I know that veganism does make a difference.
It does.
Every person does make a difference.
Exactly.
But hopefully I'll be able to reach that point one day.
Yeah. Do you know what the difference of one person going vegan can be?
It's a lot of benefits. I mean, not only morally, because morally it's intangible, but you also have like the carbon benefits. I don't know, something about, I don't know how many, not tons, but how much carbon emissions will be saved. I don't know how. Do you know how much?
I don't know how many tons of carbon emission or that,
goes
but
vegan.
I know that it's like out of the emissions that you cause from food,
Yeah.
75% would be reduced if you went
yeah.
on a plant-based diet. But being vegan, by the way, is not a diet, right? Being vegan literally means respecting animals for
like
what they
leather,
are,
stuff like-
sentient
yeah.
being. Yeah, because it applies to everything. It doesn't apply
Yeah.
to food. It applies to food, clothing, entertainment. It literally means acknowledging that animals are individuals who are who have moral worth. And when you're not vegan, you're basically, even if you agree with the idea that animals deserve moral worth,
Yeah.
when you're not vegan yourself, your actions don't agree with that, right? It's like saying I'm a feminist, but then I go around beating women, or it's like
course,
saying,
yeah.
so it's like saying I'm not a racist, but then I go around engaging in
Well, in that
racist
case,
activities.
you can label
right?
me as such. You know, I'm not going to take offense to you labeling me that. way.
Yeah, but
You know?
I'm just trying to understand why is it that you don't consider it like a moral obligation to stop doing this to animals? But if it were dogs, like if the only meat in the supermarket you were to be of dog meat right now,
Then I'll probably hold the same position.
you would hold the same position. You would still continue to exploit animals.
I mean, just because in that hypothetical, you know, we'd be conditioned to eat dogs.
yeah.
So
No.
it would
In
be
this
the same.
hypothetical, you are the same person. Tomorrow, there's no more cow meat or anything.
Oh, no, I'm
Everything.
stopping. Yeah, I'm
You're
stopping.
stopping. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see what I mean? Like
I do.
there's a like what is it? What's the difference between them? Between dogs and cows that justifies the difference in treatment in your worldview?
I mean, there isn't. I mean, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
you can try and point out the fact that, you know, cows and everything, they're like, I don't know, just better for alimentation, you know, they just, I don't know why we don't eat dogs, but
It's just social
Yeah.
conditioning.
Social conditioning.
It's just social conditioning. We've done it one way and we're doing it the same way forever. And you got to ask yourself, which side of it do you want to be? Do you want to be on the violent side or do you want to be on the peaceful side? Are you a violent person?
no.
So why pay for violence? Huh? I mean, I understand that from our side, it doesn't seem that way, right? Because from our side, we cultivated this world where we go into a supermarket, everything is neatly
Yeah.
packaged clean. You see this meat, and you don't imagine the horrors that they go through. But that doesn't mean they don't go through it.
Yeah.
Like cows have their babies ripped away from them. They have their babies killed.
Mm-hmm.
They are killed themselves. It's all a shit show for them. And it's nothing that you would want to, like, I'm assuming that if you were to see it yourself, you probably wouldn't want to see it. Like, if you were to see it daily,
Yeah,
you would
I wouldn't seek it out.
probably wouldn't participate in it. So it's a little bit of a disconnect. But then, don't you think that you have kind of this moral obligation to at least look into it, to know what you're paying for?
No, of course.
Yeah. Okay, then can we do this? I'll give you some cars to look into it.
Give me a card, I'll look into it.
Yeah. But you're gonna promise me you're gonna look into
I'm
it?
gonna look into it.
Okay. And just
Give
keep
me
in
the card. Is
yeah.
it like, is it all the information on the card? Or do I gotta
Yeah.
look at the link?
Yeah. You get everything there. So I just want you to know that going forward, if you will be buying animal products, you will be supporting their exploitation,
Yeah.
their abuse,
I scan this.
and their murder. Yeah, you just gotta scan that QR code and watch either Dominion if you really want to see the whole thing that they go through, or the most important speech you'll ever hear is just a guy holding a speech and explaining everything that they
Yeah.
go through. Okay, you gonna promise me you watch one of those?
Promise.
What's your name?
Paul.
Paul, you gotta go vegan, man. You seem like an intelligent person. Don't allow this bullshit.
Yeah, I
Don't
know.
allow animal agriculture to dictate
Because
what.
for me,
how
the
you
problem
feel.
is agriculture. You know?
Yeah. But
Like-
agriculture can continue. It doesn't have to be animal
No,
agriculture.
I know, but like, you know, the kind of the what's it called? The industrialization of animal products. That's the
Yeah.
problem for me. I feel like if someone goes fishing,
But why
that's
is that a
okay.
problem? Let me ask you. Why is it a problem when you think about industrial farms?
I feel like you know, when industrial farms kind of removes humans and that species from the natural order of things.
Yeah.
So even if in the natural order of things nowadays we would be at the top of the food pyramid, kind of industrialization of it and making kind of animal products and livestock agricultural, which is a standardized process, you know, with the execution and stuff like that. It's not giving them a fair chance at life at all, and that's where we lose the moral high ground. But I feel like if you return to the state of nature, how things were, people having fishing rods made out of sticks and stuff like that, I feel like it's more justified to eat animal products in that way.
Well, let
The
me.
thing is, I'm just not exposed to those animal products. I can't go fishing in the eye. I can't go fishing in the Amstel.
Let me put it this way, because the way I see it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a person who kind of looks a lot into this, but the
Yeah.
reason why a lot of people are against industrial farming
Mm-hmm.
is because when we see it, it really shows us how much we objectify animals, how much
it's
we treat them
gross.
like
Yeah.
objects. Yeah, it's very gross because we realize they're sentient, we
Sorry,
realize
call.
they suffer.
Second.
Um,
Okay, never mind.
yeah, but when it comes to smaller farms, reality is we don't actually see that much objectification, but
Yeah.
it is still there.
It's still there, yeah.
From their perspective, they're still very much objectified because they're just brought into existence to be used and then killed when they can
Yeah.
no longer be used. It's pretty much exactly what we would do to other objects.
But would you agree that in the state of nature, it's still okay for humans to hunt animals?
I don't think it's okay when we have other options. I don't
We have
think
other
it's
options.
morals. It's moral. Like if you are in a situation where you have to survive, you have to kill somebody to survive. Far be it from me to judge you if you do that,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't judge you even if you kill a human being in that situation. Otherwise, you would die, right? Like
Of course.
that would be a situation where it's like. An extreme situation when I'm like, okay, well, you do you have to survive, you know, like. But in other situations when we have so many options,
As
to
long as there's an
choose-
alternative that exists,
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
it's more than just fine. Okay,
Exactly.
I see, I see.
To choose to put an animal through these practices, it's all
Yeah.
it's all wrong.
Yeah.
Thanks for having this conversation with
Well,
me, man.
thank you for proposing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Look those videos
And
up.
your,
Yeah.
is your account on the card?
Yeah, you have it
Perfect.
there.
All right,
Okay.
I'll check it out.
Cheers.
All right,
Have a
good
good
luck,
one.
man.
The sun is in my eyes when I go in that direction. Oh, Benji says good one. Yeah, I also thought it was a pretty good conversation. There's good conversations, there's bad conversation. It is what it is. I think what I really want to stress out, because the last times we've had quite some, I don't want to say bad conversations, but rather that people weren't so open to veganism, and that's okay. You know, there will always be people who are not open to veganism, but I don't necessarily think we should label them as bad conversations, but rather just, you know, we never choose who stops by, right? We don't. We just wait and see who's coming. Oh, I see somebody said they like Isaiah Mueller says, I would like a Discord call. Isia Mueller, just contact me on Instagram. My handle is Real Chip Guy. I think you might see it in the description of this video, and yeah, we can schedule something if you want to have a conversation with me. Does thinking critically mean just agree with being vegan? I think you can't think critically and not be vegan if you have readily available options. It's simple. Actually, that's just it, because you can't think critically and not be vegan. You can't. No, you cannot. It's pretty simple, because you can never morally justify forcing animals into slaughterhouses, and if you think you can, then whatever moral justification you have will always be just an arbitrary line that you draw in the sand, and it will always come down to your own preference, and then you're always just ending up in the same place where other people who have committed awful atrocities throughout history have gone. You know, like genocides have been committed because we said, well, I belong to this group. Like some people say, well, I belong to the human group of species, therefore any other species is fair game and we can do whatever we want to them. After all, we have power over them. And that's kind of what we said. You want to try a social experiment? So that's kind of what we said also to all animals, right? They belong to different species, therefore it's morally justified to do whatever we want to them. You know, it's fucked up. I'm sorry if I lost my train of thought there. There was somebody who was interested in the sign, but they didn't come in the end. Yeah, Arian says, I question social norms, therefore I'm vegan. Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point. If you question social norms, then you should be vegan. If you just accept what you've been told that is right or wrong, then you probably won't be vegan. I thought that there were two guys coming over. What about all the insects and mice that die from farming? Not bothered about them, are you? Graham Whitting, it is fucking awful that animals die in crop production, right? It's awful that animals die when in agriculture. But do you think that justifies us killing more animals? Do you think that justifies us forcefully impregnating cows, chickens, or pigs? Or how does farming crops justify farming animals. I fail to see the difference. I fail to see how that entails, because you know what? When we farm animals, we have to farm crops also, because we have to feed those animals. Therefore, how can you more like whatever deaths occur from crop farming, the same deaths will occur for animal farming, because crop farming is an integral part of animal farming. It's as easy as that.
What's the experiment?
Well, I just ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit. You guys okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's no problem.
Okay, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Jesse.
Jesse, nice to meet you, Jesse. How about you?
Quinn.
Quinn, nice to meet you. Where are you guys from?
From the south of Netherlands,
From the
Tilburg.
South of the Netherlands. Oh, okay, nice. I'm Chip. I'm from Romania originally, but I live here in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Legal? No, of course not.
No.
No.
Oh, okay. So let me explain to you my situation, because that's what I like to do, and people understand it better. So I'm a dog farmer. I'm part of Elwoods. We farm dogs in U.S. and Australia,
Yeah.
and we're trying to bring farming of dogs also here in Europe. What we do is we I personally like to use golden retrievers.
Yeah.
We bring them to life, and when the time comes, usually around 1 year old, we kill them, and then we package them for meat, for all this kind of stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel? Would you buy that?
No. Maybe because it's socially not accepted, right? But on the other hand, if you look to like on a broader scale, maybe it's a little hypocritical to say like why.
Yeah, it is
that-
better for
why-
the
why can
environment,
you-
by the way. It's
yeah.
better than cow's meat or stuff like that.
Yeah,
because,
yeah. So yeah, why can you slaughter a pig or a cow and not a dog? So maybe that's a little bit. Yeah, I see the point there, but
yeah, yeah. It is
feels
reverse
weird.
psychology. I
Feels
love that
weird,
you got it. Yeah,
But
feels weird. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of people love dogs, so they have more feeling, they feel more love towards dogs. So in that case, it's harder for them to.
I understand that. Yeah, but could it be that I'm just putting it out there? Could it be that it feels weird to farm dogs? Because it should theoretically feel weird to farm any animal, but somehow we've been conditioned to think that it's okay to farm some animals.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just turn a blind eye to the cows and the pigs and the whole farming situation of their life and chickens.
Yeah.
And if you compare it to a dog, then all of a sudden it becomes like, oh no, how can you do this? And this is so
Exactly.
wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. The point is the same.
Yeah, so then if you think it's wrong to do it to dogs, then why wouldn't you stop doing it to cows, chickens, and pigs? Like, I'm just like, I understand that you understood the point. I guess my question is more like, what do you want to do with this point going forward? Do you want to continue being blind to the whole idea of forcing animals into slaughterhouses, or
Maybe,
do you want to change?
Maybe I'm gonna be blind, I think.
You want to be blind?
To just live the easy life, turn a blind eye, sometimes think about it and understand that you're turning a blind eye. Because as long as you can say like, yeah, I know it, and
Do you think that if you know that you're turning a blind eye to an atrocity that you're supporting, that makes the atrocity okay?
no, but that makes me maybe okay with it, because maybe it's too simple to say, but that's how the world works, and I'm just putting down with me, and it feels like too big of a change to think or to start off my own. So maybe when the time comes, I will support it, but I'm more of a trend follower in that case than a trend setter.
Can you follow, like, can you think about a situation in the past of humanity when we did the same thing, where somebody told us that this is what we need to do, we considered it normal, and we did it, and it concerned not animals but humans,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
committed atrocities towards humans,
Yeah, of course,
and we
yeah.
considered it normal.
Yeah.
Can you think of a situation like
Yeah,
that?
thousands, yeah, the whole world, every war or
Yeah.
almost every situation.
Everywhere, every genocide. So we are kind of living through that right now, right? We are in a place where we are committing, I wouldn't call it genocide because
Yeah.
it's not necessarily related to race or,
Like to humans.
yeah, but it's
But it's a little bit
it's
in
a
our
Holocaust.
nature.
It is a Holocaust, because
Yeah.
Holocaust literally means the,
Yeah, it's like the
Killing of-
production of.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My English is not so good.
Ah.
Listen to my friend. Yeah.
yeah, so the
But you're
reason,
standing here for getting awareness of animals.
Yeah, getting awareness and trying to get people to change, because you know, like
In your best world, no animals.
in my best world, yes, no animals would be exploited or abused or slaughtered for
on a
us.
farm, like when they have a good life and then they get killed at the end of their life.
I mean,
Because
if
it's
it's
our
a
nature
dog
to
that
eat
I
meat.
give them a good life and then I kill them, does that make it okay?
Yeah, man, yeah.
If I give you a good life, does it make it okay for me to kill you?
Maybe if you're, yeah, but in nature, animals kill other animals. Is that okay, or is that also wrong? That is okay, right?
Well, can I use the justifications that animals kill other animals for me to kill humans?
If I get killed by an animal for meat, by
No,
lion,
but that's the thing, right? Like, we gotta understand that in nature, when animals kill other animals, they do it out of necessity.
Yeah.
When we kill animals, we do it out of greed. We don't do it out of necessity. We do it because
we could find other ways.
we
yeah.
have other ways. We
Yeah.
don't even need to find them. We have other ways.
Yeah.
So we just and I understand, like, honestly, in an ideal scenario, I wouldn't be here speaking to you two,
No,
right? I hate to sit and talk to people and explain to them that what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But in an ideal world, I would be out there standing up for animals in the government or places
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But sadly, 98% of people support these industries.
Yeah,
98% of people
It's a
think-
really long way.
yeah, it's
but
a
step
really
for
long
step,
way.
It's coming, right?
Step by step, and
Yeah.
we need individuals like yourselves to change. We need individuals on
Yeah.
this other side where
Yeah,
we
yeah.
say we need animals to stop being exploited, abused,
Yeah.
or slaughtered.
And at one point, it's going to be enough people to really get the change
Exactly,
going. Yeah.
exactly. So you just gotta ask yourself, because it will happen at some point,
Yeah.
not just for moral reasons, but I would argue it
At
happens
one point, I
because-
think, we're
Yeah.
getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you want to do out of this? Do you want to be on the side of this violence towards animals, or do you want to be on this other side? Like, do you want to tell your grandkids or that, hey, I stood up for what was right, even if it was a little bit more difficult, or I just chose convenience when push comes to
I
shove?
think convenience.
You think convenience? Yeah, I don't know.
In,
man.
maybe in other pets or in other, you can be a hero in every situation, right?
But this
Maybe-
isn't about being a hero, because a hero would mean that you're on the street like I am right now, right?
No, a
And-
hero
and,
is also somebody who personally gets it done and doesn't connect with the horror ideas of everything that's going on.
But for
there.
you, it's the bare minimum of not forcing animals into slaughterhouses. You literally just have to move your hand from the supermarket from here to here, choose a different product, and then no animal gets abused for you.
yeah,
So why not do that? Like, it just seems like so easy. It's not even that inconvenient.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm going to give it a good thought, and I hope it's going to work step by step.
How about this? How about I give you some resources, you look more into it, but only if you promise me to look more into it. And then I really do hope you don't want to
have
be
like
part
a
of
card
it.
or
Yeah, I'll give you a card.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, because a lot of the times, a lot of the times I also didn't know what it is that we're supporting.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fucked up. And
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
if you don't want to be part of it, maybe
Who knows? Maybe somebody I know, right?
maybe somebody but maybe you also don't want to be part of
Yeah.
it. Trust me, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and my biggest regret in life is not going vegan earlier.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So you just gotta scan this QR code and watch either the Minion or
Yeah.
the most important speech you'll ever hear. They're in the top 3 things to watch.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna look into it.
Cheers,
And
thank you.
support
Have a
your,
good one.
Support your cause.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Hey, thank
Like
you,
the
and share it with
dedication.
everybody else. Okay.
Yes, I'll do
Okay.
it.
Nice.
Okay,
Thank you.
good luck.
Hey, have a good one. That was a good conversation, huh? I feel like when I do this experiment backwards with the dogs, everybody instantly realizes the hypocrisy, huh? He seems open, but who knows, says Verdant. Yeah, who knows, that's the truth, yeah. And hello everyone who's in the chat, who just joined, who's joining now. I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. It's an interesting social experiment, isn't it? And yeah, please hit that subscribe if you're enjoying them, and hit that like. It helps with my mental thing, After I finish this, I look at the numbers and I go like, look at that. Some people liked my stream enough to subscribe and want to see more of me. And that's pretty good, right? Nothing more. It also helps with giving the message more across. I saw somebody mention crop deaths again. Ishish Müller, you super chatted. Oh, thank you so much, Ishish. I'm sorry, I don't see it right now, and I can't see it in this interface. I don't know why they created this interface with me not being able to. Nick, thank you so much. Last 2 convos were great, but consider seeing if they will agree to temporarily plant-based until looking into your card's resources. That's a good one. Yeah, I should do that. Stick says Chip is one of the best people in the world. I love this man. Hey, thank you for that. But keep in mind, I'm not. I have my flaws, just like everybody else. We're all flawed. We none of us are built perfectly. I'm just speak up for animals. That's one of the things I do, and I'm gonna learn to speak up also for humans because I want to go and speak up for women's rights. I've been saying it for a while, and I've been training on speaking up for women's rights. So you might also see that soon. This is insane. You really need the job, says Arcanon 870. I do have a job, Arcanon 870, but believe it or not, today is Saturday and it is weekend, and I do not work on weekends. But rather, what I like to do on weekends is speak up for the defenseless creatures, like animals. I like to do some social justice, is what I call. And I encourage everybody in the chat, whether you're vegan or not vegan, to spend at least a part of your free time fighting for a social justice. The world would be a better place if everybody would do a little bit, would contribute a little bit. And yeah, I believe personally that veganism is the root, not veganism, but non-veganism is the root of a lot of issues in the world, right? Seeing animals as objects, objectifying them, saying that we can treat them however we want to treat them because we have power over them is something that is reminiscent in pretty much all the isms that we commit, right? Racism, sexism, all of them have some form of base in, You guys want to try a social experiment? Have some form of base in this discrimination where we do what we want to do to somebody just because we can, or just because it brings us some form of pleasure. Because there's always some form of benefit, isn't there? I mean, sexism. Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
You guys okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Okay.
Okay. What are your names? I'm Chip.
Sasha.
Sasha?
Alina.
Alida. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Friends.
France.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
No. No, not at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain my situation, just like I did for everyone, and I'll explain to you. So, what happens is that I'm a dog farmer.
Okay.
I'm part of Elwoods. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elwoods. So what we do is I personally raise golden retrievers, and when the time comes, that's usually around 1 year old, bolt gun to the head, knife to the throat, and then we harvest them. We basically use their meat and we sell their meat. We're not currently in Europe. We're only in US and Australia, but we're trying to get in Europe. How do you feel about that? Would you consume dog meat?
Attends, j'ai pas compris. So you're saying that you're dogs?
Yeah, I farm dogs. Yeah. I farm golden retrievers.
Sell their meat?
Yeah, for meat. Yeah.
But
You kill dog for meat?
Yeah, I farm them for meat.
Biologically, I think that those
I'm part of
animals.
Elwoods. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
And
You can look it up.
you kill the dog for the meat?
But I think that biologically
Like,
talking,
it's
these
crazy.
animals are not meant to be farmed. Like
I
pigs.
specifically breed them to farm them and
Yeah,
to
but
use them.
biologically they're not meant for that. Like me, when we're talking about sheep and cows, they are meant to be farmed.
What do you mean?
But,
I specifically farm them for that, so they are meant for that.
yeah, but no, because a dog and a cat, you can live with that. But
You can live with a pig also, but somehow people eat pigs also, right? You can live
I
with a
don't
sheep
think
also,
so. I
but
don't
somehow
think so.
people.
Biologically, it has been proved that pig. Yeah, we have to go because we're with the group. But
Yeah, this is reverse psychology, by the way. I obviously don't farm dogs, but I'm trying to get people to understand because we farm other animals, and is there any difference between other animals and dogs?
Yes, I agree.
There isn't, is there? But somehow, from their perspective, they see the same world. They got brought into this world. They see a human taking care of them, and at some point, somebody puts a gun to their head and a knife to their throat, and we say that's okay. And we have other alternatives, so we don't need to do this to them. So I'm just trying to get to tell people, don't be their oppressor, okay? I'll just give you a card. Can you share it amongst each other?
Yeah,
The card.
we'll do that.
Yeah. So I recommend you watch the most important speech you'll ever hear or Dominion. It's you just gotta scan that QR code, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. Have a good one. Run away. Hold them accountable. I tried. We can't. They had to run away. My God, it's sunny today. I didn't even think, but maybe I should have worn some sunscreen. Elwood organic dog meat. Elwood organic dog meat. I am loving this t-shirt. But this is the first person, right, today that we've had today that actually was like trying to justify why it's different in a sense, right? But that was kind of weird. The mixed girl zoned out after hearing you farm golden retrievers. Yeah. Yeah, the LTN says interesting new approach. Yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to try. I also have this t-shirt and I thought it would be good to put it to use. It's kind of like when they serve meat, you know, like dog meat to people on the street. You want to try it? Dog meat gang, says Olawale. Yeah, exactly. Non-violence leads to highest ethics, which is the goal of all evolution. Until we stop harming all other living beings, we are still savages. That's a good quote. No freebies for kindness, yeah. But we are speaking out against exploitation. This is not a harm reduction movement. You're 100% right. Yeah, this is about exploitation, you know. I feel like I urge you, if you are vegan and you have a problem with me talking about animal abuse, I urge you to please don't get bogged down in the words, in the semantics of it, because this isn't about semantics, right? Absolutely everywhere we discuss animal rights, we have to discuss a little bit of the abuse that animals go through. And it's sad, but we have to do that because people don't understand exploitation. People don't understand what's wrong with using animals in general. People don't really, can't really understand the whole concept that animals are individuals and they deserve to be left out alone on their own. So the way I see it is a little bit of introduction towards seeing animals differently, right? It's a little bit of, hey, it's wrong to do this to animals, but then the more you think about it, you realize it's wrong to do anything to animals. Yeah. Hi. You want to try the social experiment? Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Aya.
Nice to meet you. Aya, I'm Chip. So I'll turn this around a little bit. So Aya, animal abuse should be legal. Do you agree?
No, definitely not.
Okay, let me explain to you my situation and maybe that will become more clear and you will agree with me.
Okay.
Actually, I bet that you will agree with me.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll convince you that animal abuse is okay. So what I do, I'm a dog farmer. So I don't know, have you ever heard of dog farmers?
No.
No, so what we do is we breed certain species of dogs. I personally breed golden retrievers.
Okay.
And I breed them specifically to, like I give them a good life, and after a year or so, when they're at their biggest, we kill them and use them for food.
Okay.
Would you say that's abusive?
So you grow them for a year, and then you make food out of it.
Yeah.
Like we do for cows and.
Exactly, yes.
I think maybe it depends on the conditions, and like how it's done.
Like how the killing is done. Yeah, we use a bolt gun. And then we put a knife to their throat. We also have halal dogs where we literally, we don't use a bolt gun, but we literally just cut their throat.
I do think, yeah, I think it's abuse though. I think it is. It's like growing something or someone just to kill it at the end. Yeah, I don't think it's morally okay.
It's not morally okay.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Are you against animal abuse?
In theory, yes, but
Yeah.
I consume still like cow meat from the supermarket.
So then you agree with animal abuse should be legal?
It is legal, but it doesn't mean that it should be that way or that it's morally correct. You know what I mean?
Well, what other way should they be done? How should I kill my dogs?
I also think it's about like how, like what's the end goal is. Like if it's for consumption, I don't think it's fine. But for example, I think if like you have if it's for your own like consumption, and like you have some animals that you're growing, you give them a good life, and then you try to do it like as soft as possible.
Soft is an interesting adjective to use for killing somebody. Can
It
you please
is.
explain a soft killing?
Maybe without pain.
Yeah, so
That's
if I
what-
sedated dogs before, it's all good.
But it's also that dogs is an unusual thing to eat from my perspective.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a hard time wrapping my mind around it.
But why is dogs unusual and cows usual?
It's just, I think, habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you caught on that I'm doing a reverse psychology experiment, right?
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
actually
yeah.
a dog farmer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to get people to see this perspective. Like, what is it about cows that makes them okay to kill them for food when dogs wouldn't be? Because it's clearly not okay with
Yeah. It's actually not. But why do we keep doing it then? I think a lot
Money?
of people would, yeah, exactly. No, but like even as consumers, like we don't really gain money from it.
you. No, but you as a consumer, like, get some benefit from it, right? Like, you get nutrition and taste.
Yeah.
You could obviously get that also from plants and plant-based products, but the reason why you continue doing it is because a lot of animal propaganda, probably because you were taught that it's okay to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would argue, if there is no actual, like, obviously there is no actual moral difference between a cow and a dog that would justify killing one for food, but not the other. So then it's that just means that it's some form of conditioning, and it doesn't even matter why we used to do it this or not.
Yeah.
All that matters is that nowadays we don't need to do any of it. So how can we morally justify forcing any animal into a slaughterhouse when we don't need to?
Oh, that's true. You don't eat any meat?
No, or any animal products.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm vegan.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what made me go vegan. Do you know what dairy cows go through?
Dairy?
Yeah, the cows that produce milk for cheese and all that stuff.
I just know they're not treated how it should be.
Yeah, they're actually treated very nicely in a lot of
Yes?
places. Yeah, that's not the issue usually.
Overcrowded.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, like I know we
Like-
see a lot of overcrowded, but for cows specifically, a lot of them are not overcrowded. A lot of
Okay.
them have actually okay conditions.
Okay.
But when it comes to dairy cows, what happens is that in order for cows to produce milk, they're mammals.
Yeah.
They're like you and me. In order for them to produce milk, they have to have babies.
Uh-huh.
So do you think farmers just let them decide when they want to have babies?
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah. So they forcefully impregnate them. The procedure goes with somebody putting a big glove on their hand.
Yes.
They put their hand in their anus, they hold their cervix,
Uh-huh.
and then they inject little semen in their vagina.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's how they get impregnated. And after 9 months, when the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They grow little, then they're slaughtered.
So the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mother so that they
Yeah.
don't drink the milk, because the milk has to go for human consumption.
Mm.
Oh, and they have to be, maybe some farms allow them to drink, but still they have to separate them so that they portion how much milk they can drink. And yeah, if they're male, they get killed because they don't produce any milk. If they're female, year over year forceful impregnation, so every year they get impregnated, have their babies taken from them, and then maybe killed. And after 6 to 8 years, when they can no longer be impregnated, because nobody was made to be impregnated year over year,
Yeah.
then they're called spent, like that's the term, spent cows, and then they get killed because they're useless to them, and it would be too costly to keep them alive. And they can live up to 25 years, so a quarter of their lifespan spent where they live in misery, they get
Yeah.
used as products, and then they get killed. Is that not abuse?
It is.
Yeah, and all of these industries, this is standard practice across the board. Some form of it will be in 100% of products, and exactly what I described is in at least 99% of them. So how can you, do you feel like, what do you want to do going forward? Do you want to continue participating in this? Because I know animal agriculture it's a behemoth, and they have incentive for you to not know any of this. That's why a lot of people don't know, because otherwise you wouldn't want to buy them. And you've been socially conditioned to think that it's okay to do whatever we want to them, but is it really, according to you?
No, I don't think it is. But is this what knowing this made you go vegan?
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, being vegan literally just means it's not a diet. Being
Yeah.
vegan just
It's like
means that we
moment.
respect animals.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a consequence of that, we don't kill them for food. We don't
Mm.
treat them like objects for food or for clothing, because leather,
Yeah.
stuff like that, entertainment, zoos and stuff like that. We just treat them like normal beings who
Yeah.
deserve to be alive just like as much as we do.
But I have a question. Do
Yeah.
you think there's an ethical way to do so, or do you think either
To
way?
farm
it's-
animals.
Yeah.
Is there an ethical way to farm humans?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I think we all deserve to have that body autonomy,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
I think farming inherently involves some form of lack of autonomy.
So like it's putting them at like there's no like human being superior to another species. It's like we're all just like species living.
On the same planet, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say we're more intelligent, but I don't think we're superior necessarily.
Yeah.
I think,
mean,
yeah, sure,
you
we
don't-
have higher intellect, but superior, I don't
Yeah.
know. We don't even know the emotions that they feel or how they feel about stuff. Like cows have definitely a better smell than us. I don't know. There's several, like not crows, but ravens. I think they have a way better memory than us. So there's all these kind of interesting things that animals do that
Yeah.
we just have this higher intellect, and somehow we think because of that we can do whatever we want to
Mm.
anybody. And theoretically we can, but do you think morally is that something we should live by?
No, honestly, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same also for like seafood.
Yeah. Again, if we have alternatives, right? Like if I were to show you a cute little animal over here and tell you we can either choose this plant-based option or kill this cute little animal and eat them, what would you choose?
No, yeah, I would go for the plant-based option.
Yeah, so that's the one option that you have every single day, 3 times per day is an
Ah, it's
option that
true.
you have.
That's true. Yeah. No, that's true.
So how do you feel? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your mind telling you right now?
Now I'm thinking that I should think about it more, because so I don't consume a lot of meat because I eat halal. So it's mostly like vegetarian meals that I eat. But if I have access to meat, I'll eat it, like in the conditions that I.
But you know halal and haram, and I don't know how religious you are.
Yeah.
I specifically know about these terms, and
Yeah.
I know haram is supposed to be like not wanted, and halal is supposed to be okay, right? Like not okay and okay, right? That's the
Yeah,
whole thing.
like morally, ethically
Yeah.
done in an
Yeah.
okay manner.
Yeah. So obviously, like what I described to you, what happens to dairy cows? Do you think that's halal?
No, definitely not.
But dairy is marked as halal, and that's the thing about halal and
Yeah.
haram. These were labels that were put on products at some point in the past when probably we needed animal products to survive. I would doubt it still, but let's say we did. Nowadays, we have so many readily available options that we cannot ever justify saying that it's halal to kill an animal when we have other options, right? In fact, I know
Yeah.
that in the Quran it says that even killing a sparrow would be wrong, right? To harm them. So when you don't need to, so we don't need to do any of it to them. It's just a matter of where you want to align your values with. Do you want to align your values with this violent thing that everybody does? Sadly, just like we've been doing a lot of awful shit throughout history and humanity, but we somehow
Yeah.
changed. Or do you want to be on this part of change where we're trying to live a world to make the world a better place, not just for us but for everybody?
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you agree. I understand you agree verbally, but please keep in mind that if you buy an animal product going forward, you're basically objectifying them yet again and forcing them into
No, I
slaughterhouses.
agree in the sense that like I think I will really think about it.
Okay. Okay, and do you think that while you're thinking about it, it's important that you don't consume any animal products just to know that you're on the right side?
Yeah. I mean, I don't anyways most of the time. So like, yeah, I'll think about it while not doing it probably because I don't do a lot anyways. But it's more like, okay, like from now on, for me, it's like I should think about going like no animal products rather than little consumption.
Exactly. Because even when we do little consumption, that one individual who was forced into a slaughterhouse for us, why to them it's so unfair. Imagine that. Imagine that we lived our whole life and all of a sudden we live every week, and all of a sudden once per week we say, you know what, fuck you, I want to kill you and eat you just because I can.
Yeah, it's making me think like it's also about just consuming in general, like also the clothes we buy,
Exactly.
the conditions that things we buy, how are they done, and yeah, what's or who's suffering from it.
Yeah, exactly. And always, I feel like always, we need to look if we have options, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously in our current society, there is systemic oppression happening everywhere. But if we have an option to choose without any oppression or
Yeah.
with less oppression, that we should be morally obliged to choose that, right?
No, that's
So
for
I'm
sure.
not saying like you shouldn't buy a phone, you shouldn't buy clothes or stuff like that. You should do that. But when you're doing that, you should always choose the option where you're with the least oppression, because you know that's how we make the world a little bit better. But in this particular situation, it's even furthermore, it's very direct, right? Because when we buy an animal product, we're literally putting an animal into a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Okay, let me give you a card, help you out. I appreciate you talking to me. This will help you on your research.
Okay.
The minion, or the most important speech you'll ever hear, you just gotta scan this QR code.
Okay.
Those are some amazing videos that will help you kind of see. I think in Dominion you also have some halal slaughter footage,
Okay, that's nice.
so you can
I mean,
check that out.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, good information source.
You can also Google it on YouTube, by the way. You can just Google
Yeah.
halal slaughter and find it out. All of these are free. And one cool thing you have here, it's called Challenge 22. If you subscribe to it, it's for free. They send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan.
Oh, that's nice.
It's all of it is free.
And the chip guy is at your.
Yeah. It's my. You have my YouTube handle and my
Okay.
Instagram handle.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you
It's
for
a
having this conversation
nice
with me,
conversation.
and please look into it. Okay, don't and make decisions, because looking into it means nothing. It's our actions.
No, I
so.
will. I will really.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Thanks.
Have a good one. That was a good conversation. I liked her. That was a beautiful conversation. Excellent outreach. Yeah, I thought so too. So much hate here. Is there a lot of hate in the comments? You didn't even ask her out, Tone. Tone, I will never ask anybody out who I'm outreaching. It just, I would think it's immoral to do so, because I'm like a teacher when I'm here, and I would be taking advantage of a position that I don't want to do that. You want to try?
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Good day, I guess. How do you do?
I'm good. How are you?
Very
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Maria, nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Maria,
Maria, I'm Chip.
Daniel, a pleasure.
Daniel, nice to meet you. Where are you guys from?
Russia.
Spain.
Russia and Spain. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. Animal abuse should be legal.
Animal
No.
abuse should be legal. Change my mind.
Come on.
I mean, good question, perhaps. How do you define animal abuse?
Good question. Yeah.
I would say physical or emotional harm.
Fair.
With
Okay.
an intent to harm the animal or just by neglect?
Whatever.
Okay.
So let me explain my situation. Maybe that comes easier, right?
Sure.
So I'm a dog farmer. Have you ever heard of dog farmers?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm a guy who is part of Elwood. I don't know if you've ever heard of Elwood. And we're in US and Australia. We're trying to get in Europe. So what I do is farm golden retrievers. And when they grow up to a certain age, to the right age, that's usually around 1 year old because they don't grow afterwards, we kill them and then use them for food, for meat and stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically it. That's why we want to legalize animal abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
What do you think about that?
I mean, sure. Like, I feel like people definitely like animal abuse is kind of like regarding dogs and cats. It's just more of a topic because as people keep them as pets a lot of the time,
Yeah.
they do feel much more connected, basically, to these pets. So it feels like more wrong, quote unquote, to abuse them. I don't think I would give. I mean, rights is also another question in general. Like, what is really like rights, and like should, like, to what extent is it reasonable to give anything else except ourselves rights?
So
You know?
so just like understand the whole ordeal. You farm golden retrievers to eat them?
Yeah, they're way more environmentally friendly than cows.
Yeah.
Culturally, they're okay in certain cultures. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the meat is actually leaner.
It's well, so it's good. Well, interesting. Cool stuff.
Very well, but yeah, like what is
Would you buy it?
No.
Why not?
Uh,
I'm assuming you buy other animal products, right? So.
Yeah, from time to time. It's just that I come from Spain. In Spain, dogs have been a companion to sort of humans the same way that horses or that cats
But
are.
horses are also used for meat. What do you mean?
Not in Spain.
Yeah.
Also in Spain, yeah.
Well, not regularly. Not in the like. I come from farmland in Spain, and that would be a big no. We use like it's like sort of
Horse
like.
meat is not bad.
Yeah.
What can you say?
But it's sort of, there's the sort of moment where, like, to me, I wouldn't be able to, just because
What's
I
the
don't
difference?
have
I know in
guts.
Spain, I've been to Spain, I've seen pigs on the
Yeah.
supermarket. What's the difference between a pig and a dog?
Well,
To you.
Culturally, they're just, animals that have been farmed, and the dogs have been our animals that have been more companions. But
I think it's just
that's
simple. It's really just like if you have animals that you would like have as pets, you just think of them less as food and more as a companion.
As individuals.
As individual. It's just like I think it's the only real distinction
Yeah.
for like this kind of thing. In regards to abuse, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just reasonable to not treat like the animals, even though you eat like badly. Like, but in terms of why not eat them is basically just companionship, basically. Like,
Yeah.
the other thing.
But these dogs are bred specifically to be eaten. They're not companions.
Yeah, that's fair. So, but what does the abuse part come in? What do you mean by abuse? Like, how?
I mean,
why-
killing them is abusive, isn't it?
Killing
And
them?
there's also some form of forceful impregnation.
I mean, if that is abuse,
Because we have to,
Yeah.
we have to control how many come to life.
that's fair. I mean, I wouldn't consider killing to be abuse necessarily. If you're eating, then that is not abuse in my opinion. Just like
So
it's
you're
not
okay
abuse
with,
for-
yeah.
Just like it's not abuse for any other animals that you kill. Like this is would not be that in my definition.
Could I have a coffee?
It'd be more like how you treat them throughout their lives, rather. And sure,
All our dogs are treated nicely, by the way.
yeah, fair enough. I mean, forceful impregnation, like
That's
sure, it's just a thing that also is part of the deal. Could it be considered abuse? I guess a little.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it's
To some extent.
physical and emotional harm, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you could consider it abuse.
So is death. So is killing at the end of the day, right? It is of emotion. It is physical harm, huh? I mean, if
guess,
kicking
yeah.
somebody would be abusive, I would say
Yeah.
killing them is also
I
abusive. right?
mean, I guess in some way, but ultimately, as it lasts very little, depending on how you kill them, of course. It's more about the death and about the abuse during the process of the killing, So yeah, basically, I think to the extent that it's necessary to survive and like to breed enough dogs to like eat them, it is reasonable.
But nothing is necessary to survive.
You guys
None of it
make
is necessary.
Profit?
Yeah, well, let me just tell you, it's a reverse psychology. I'm obviously vegan. I don't participate in any of it.
I thought that was the way, and I was like, Jesus Christ.
But speaks
I
to
thought
itself.
so.
What speaks for itself the fact that you were so distraught by it. Because
Yeah.
how is it that it's okay to kill an animal for food but not the other? None of it is needed. So how can we justify killing any animal for food? Like it's literally the same. To kill a dog or to kill a pig for food, it's literally the same. Just because you've been culturally conditioned to believe that one has moral worth and the other doesn't mean that they don't have moral worth,
I
right?
completely agree with you, and there's the thing, of course, is the fact that for a fact I'm pretty sure that like it's the sort of moment where is the argument of the fact that in Spain we know perfectly well that if the chickens we farm were as big as we are, they'd probably eat us too.
Lol.
And they'd probably find a way to eat us very, very
Are you
nicely.
saying that it's okay to do it because other animals do it?
Well, we're nothing but animals in the end of the day.
We are animals, yes, but like, are you saying that it's okay to kill animals because other animals also kill animals for food?
Yeah.
Like I mean, in that sense,
But
Like-
with that
like-
logic, it should be okay also to rape because other animals rape other animals. It should be okay to
Well,
kill kids
the
because
thing is
other
that
animals kill their kids a lot
In
of
the
the time,
society we
commit
live
infanticide.
with humans, we need to, treat like you know, there's societies also in species of animals, and certain hierarchies in the species of animals of what it would be right and what would be wrong in a society.
But you're already not morally consistent when it comes to dogs, are you? Because you should be able to, you should be okay for you to kill and eat dogs then.
No, because in my culture and in my society, dogs are companions.
Yeah, but culture literally just means somebody told you that it is the way it is. Culture literally is just ideas that people have brought together. They don't have to have any logical or more moral foundation. So culture just means that you've been taught that this is the way it is. It doesn't mean that it's moral.
Culture has definitely both a moral foundation and a historical foundation.
So are you saying that when something is cultural, it is also moral?
No, when something is cultural, it can be moral or not, depending on what you can sleep with at night.
And do you
depending on
think
how
it's moral to kill a pig and pet a dog?
Well,
You
moral.
can pet both.
You can pet
kill
both.
both.
You
if
can
want.
pet both, but
And kill both?
is that sort of moment where, yeah, I thank God. Like overall, is that sort of moment where it's all depending. I do believe that there are certain cultural aspects that should be preserved. I don't think that animal abuse should be legal. I don't believe killing in every instance is animal abuse. But I do understand where you're coming from.
Killing
too.
without a purpose, killing for pleasure, is it not animal abuse?
Well, it's not killing for pleasure.
Well, you can get nutrition from plants and plant-based products.
Yeah.
Therefore, when you kill an animal, you kill them for taste pleasure. Is that not killing for pleasure?
Well, depending on where you live and depending
Why
on
are
the
you so happy?
resources, depending on the resources that you have, right?
Say it again.
Depending on the resources that you have and the sort of lifestyle and community that you live in, because there's in some parts of Spain the access to plant-based products are completely cut. Like it's very hard for you to sustain yourself.
There's no supermarkets all across Spain?
There, no, not really. Like if you go into tiny villages, there's just a truck that comes and sells the
So
food.
those people, they just kill animals and eat only flesh. They don't eat vegetables or
no, they eat
anything
some
else.
vegetables that the truck brings.
So
but
they
it's
have
not a
access
wide
for
variety.
vegetables and
There's
other
not a
plants.
wide variety of it. I think that the social experiment is very funny, but I think that the sort of debate is a little bit one-sided.
I mean, the whole point isn't for it to be funny. It's for it to show the hypocrisy of you thinking that it's okay to kill one animal but not the other, and for you to have such an emotional reaction to the whole idea of me farming dogs, but then I'm sorry, they're pigs, as if somebody chooses whether they're born a dog or a pig. And if they're born a dog, you say then, oh no, protect them. But if they're born a pig, put a knife to their throat, do whatever you can because I gotta have me some bacon.
Bacon is good. What can you say?
I definitely
Yeah, but
believe that
You can have vegan bacon. You
I
don't need to
definitely
morally.
believe that the level of judgment lacks the empathy and consideration towards, you know, like what I believe about the inherent judgments of certain people is that it brings hypocrisy, because in the end, no human is perfect and no person. Everyone has
But
certain
our lack of
considerations.
perfection doesn't come from us making the wrong choices knowingly. Our lack of perfection comes from us making the choices accidentally. If you accidentally hit somebody by car, it is not right or wrong. It's bad, but it's not wrong. But if you intentionally kill somebody by car, then it is pretty fucked up, wouldn't you
I'm
say?
pretty sure that you also know that you do things personally that you know are bad.
Not if I have a better option, never.
Oh, sure, because you're so perfect and high-minded.
No, because I respect my morality and I live by morality.
I really hope that in your high horse you can look down and find empathy and compassion to the
For
people
animals.
that live, for the people that live alternative.
So I should have empathy for the people who commit animal abuse and exploitation because they want taste pleasure.
You should do whatever you want.
Yeah. No, but that's what you're saying, right?
I believe that empathy and compassion to people is always necessary, especially when touching these topics.
Yeah, only for people, but for animals, no empathy or compassion. For animals, fuck them.
I believe that without empathy for people and understanding for other humankind.
I mean, obviously, you're the victim when it comes to animals. Obviously, you're the victim, right?
No, I
Because
believe-
you're the one who are forcing them into slaughterhouses.
I
They
believe-
deserve that.
I believe that everyone in this world has a place and has a life. And the same way, I really want to treat you with compassion. Although the judgment you're showing is
Yeah.
pretty.
Do you think that somebody choosing to kill innocent sentient beings is not worthy of judgment?
I do believe that judgment without knowing the full story and seeking.
What is the full
understanding-
story? Please tell me so that I don't judge anymore.
The thing is, you don't seek understanding. You
No,
don't
I
say
seek to,
find
I seek to, I
compassion.
speak on behalf of animals. I really seek for them to not be forced into slaughterhouses. And you seem to try to find excuses why you're sending them into slaughterhouses. And let me tell you right here, I don't care what happened in the past. What I care about is why is for you to stop doing that in the future. I understand what happened in the past was in the past. Well, and I'm not judging you for it because I used to be part of it too. What I am looking for is for you to stop excuses and say, oh shit, I should change. I shouldn't be forcing animals into slaughterhouses. Dogs are just like pigs in all the ways that matter. Killing a pig for food is just like me killing a dog for food. If I'm not okay with killing a dog for food, why would I be okay with killing a pig for food?
It is due to individuals that lack the understanding and compassion that make the choice to become vegetarian and vegan a lot harder because it lacks the understanding of the specific situations to be able to let the people have a real sort of mind in the matter. That is something.
So it's because of me that you are continuing to abuse and slaughter animals? Is that what you're saying?
It's because of individuals who lack the compassion and understanding that is harder.
So it's because
for
of others who
I'm not
cannot
talking about
cannot
me.
empathize with your choice to exploit animals. So anybody else, any vegan, any activist, anybody out there who cannot empathize with your choice to force animals into slaughterhouses, then you're saying you will force animals into slaughterhouses.
In the intent of social experiment and sets them in front of a microphone.
It was a social experiment. I asked you if you're okay being live for my YouTube channel, did I not?
Yeah, but without the pretense, like this in I study psychology. This in psychology would not pass an ethical board.
Okay, so the sheer fact that I expose your hypocrisy live in front of somebody else, all of a sudden is bad that I do it, right?
No, it's not bad that you do it.
Listen,
You
at
can
the
do
end of the
whatever you
day,
want.
everybody there watching will respect you if you stop forcing animals. We were all in that position. We all thought, we were all conditioned by society to think it's okay to do what we do to animals. The only reason why we show empathy to animals and everybody else because they deserve moral empathy, they deserve moral consideration and empathy, just like everybody else. So if you're sitting here saying that, well, I deserve empathy too, I shouldn't have been considered in this
No,
experiment.
I'm
This
not
experiment
talking-
is somehow
I'm not
flawed.
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the fact. I'm talking about the general sort of trend that it is the extreme and polarization.
This is extreme to stop forcing animals into slaughterhouses?
No, it's extreme to the judgment, the critique without understanding.
Would you judge somebody who kicks a dog to death right here on the street?
I would judge them.
What if they say that, oh, it's okay because I'm going to eat them?
That is still abuse, even if it was a different animal.
Okay, would you consider it abusive if they would put a knife to their throat?
If they were going to eat them?
Yeah.
No?
If they're going to eat them?
Nope.
No. So it's okay to eat dogs then.
But let me go contextually. 'Cause like if you feel like you've been talking a while, I feel like I have something to say as well. It's like like generally, you know, like the whole how it came about. Of course, we're more farmer kind of individuals, where like you know, livestock was basically an essential part of protein.
Please call them what they are, animals. They're not livestock. You are not human stock. You are human. They are animals. They are individuals.
Sure.
They're not stock.
If you prefer, like we can say anything
I
and
prefer
everywhere.
we don't
Sure.
use derogative
Animals.
terms.
Derogative
Just like
terms.
we don't use derogative terms for different races of people because we acknowledge they're individuals. Just like that, we shouldn't use derogative terms for individuals, non-human animals.
Sure, I'm just using the contextually correct term for back when it was the case. And just now, like, yes, we are able to more and more produce any sorts of vegan or vegetarian, like bacon, as you said. or
Yeah,
anything else.
plant-based option, yeah.
And to be fair, I would be pretty much happy to start going for this if it actually was at a decent level. There are some things that are like starting to be kind of good. And I think it's just a question, we're rooted in tradition, you know, and we very much do this because that is how we grew up, you know. And I think people would be happier to change towards this if they actually get options for, I think, like, obviously, I don't think anybody, like, many people feel bad about killing animals, and especially those who live in cities, because we're very distant from this whole thing, so it doesn't seem real as much anymore. So, like, as you're not part of this process, you're just like, okay, a chicken is just like the thing that comes in this plastic bag in a supermarket, you know? It's not like one of those running around things with wings. So yeah, it's easier to kind of make this choice, so to speak.
It is easier to make this choice, and I understand that, like I'm not I hate the fact that I have to speak to people and explain to them that something they're doing is wrong. There is obviously a large blame to be placed on these industries that they don't show you what the truth is, right?
Sure.
But you can't say that when I raise the issue up to you, when I tell you that there's readily available options, then you have no excuse going forward to consider saying, well, I never knew, I wasn't informed, or stuff like this, right? Like the whole point of me talking to people is that they go forward, they inform themselves, they don't just have to trust me. At the end of the day, I'm a stranger.
Yeah.
But you have to inform yourself, and if you think it's wrong to kill animals, then while you're doing that, you have to stop participating in that, and then stop altogether if that's something you feel you can do, right? As you said, right?
Sure. Yeah. On one thing, like definitely, I'm not disagreeing with your point. What I am not what I think one should be wary of is indeed, as you say, being an ambassador for animals, because you don't really know what they want ultimately.
I know they don't want to be exploited and killed.
I mean, perhaps, you know.
No,
perhaps.
definitely.
Like perhaps to some extent, but it's true that we do operate from our human frameworks and our also social cues and like normative and moral, like kind of placeholders.
But how are
which
you
is
to know
easier.
that? How are you to know that anything that we feel about ourselves, like if you feel empathy for somebody being hurt, how are you to know that that feeling that you feel is something that you have from cognitive thought, or is just an instinct that you've been brought up with, right? So the only reason why we think it's okay to consider animals is because everything we feel, everything we do is synonymous to what animals feel or do. It's exactly the same.
Correct your terminology.
Yeah.
Instinct is not something that a person can be brought up in. Instincts
No.
are
If I said that, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I mean
like-
literally meant born with.
like something that like overall those cognitive thoughts that we have are rooted in our inherent sense of instincts, and they build up on that. You can ask an apple tree to give you
So why
pears.
wouldn't you assume that animals have the same thing then?
Because
We're quite similar.
They also have emotions. They also have feelings. They also have thoughts. They dream.
Sure, no, of course. Like animals, like I'm not saying that they are quite similar to us, clearly.
Yeah. Or they're similar
what
in all the ways that
they-
matter, right?
Well, in psychology, what we studied is that they don't have conscious of self.
They
in
do.
many
A lot of
ways.
animals are self-conscious. What do you mean?
No, but when they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't recognize the fact that that's them.
So who
When they
cares? Let
don't-
me put it this
like,
way: a dog doesn't run around the world knowing who's who based on sight necessarily, but they rather dictate a lot based on smell. So if you were to smell somebody, maybe you wouldn't know if you're smelling yourself. So how would they know by looking at themselves? Maybe if they smell themselves, they know that themselves. So they easily identify who their self is, just not by the same sense that you
I mean,
identify
okay, I
yourself.
think the point here is kind of like why I'm asking it, like I'm talking about this whole like representing animals being a questionable issue at times, is the fact that, like, you know, generally one could say from one position that animals, what they do is basically anything to just propagate their species and make sure that they have enough individuals.
Same as humans.
Right, sure. And so, like, basically, individual kind of like freedom or happiness or just like overall decency is not something that they are like going for most of the time.
Animals play, don't they play? Have you seen animals play?
Yeah, but playing is a form of
But
like
playing
learning how to
comes from
like
instinct.
love,
It
how to
is
hunt.
literally-
So
Or, like,
playing comes from instincts also for humans. Why is it that you think that? I'm just trying
No,
to
but
understand what is this
humans
gap
play
between
due to
humans and
cognitive
animals?
Development. Humans play directly only to prepare their brain for understanding, for learning how to talk. for
Animals do
learning
the
how to
same
read.
thing.
Well, animals learn how to play to learn how to hunt, to learn things that are useful for them.
Yeah, so you learn things that are useful for you.
Yeah.
They learn things that are useful
But
for them.
there's a difference.
It sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
But the difference on the things. That
Well,
you
let me
learn-
get to the end of my
Yeah.
point. I feel like I was trying here. Anyway, point being is that like with the logic of them kind of attempting to propagate their species, there are some species that we farm, chickens for instance, that would not do particularly well without the farms they are actually like by population size.
Because we created the species.
Yeah, basically, right? And like there you go. Technically, if their own like criteria is to propagate their species and become like more whatever, like more spread out, then technically we would be helping them in doing this.
This would be helpful for us to oppress them, to exploit and slaughter them.
Like it doesn't matter ultimately, because if the goal is to have more individuals and we are helping them achieve it, then yeah. And like the point is like it's a semi like, you know, like almost like not really contextualized point, right? But all to say that there could be different reasons why like being like an ambassador and speaking for animals from our point of view could be a potentially dicey situation. You know what I mean?
No, I'm sorry. I don't understand that. I don't understand any of it. So what you're saying is that you have a problem with me being an ambassador for animals? I don't care. I don't care if you have a problem with me. I just have a problem with you forcing animals into slaughterhouses.
I'm not talking about like having a problem with you in particular. I'm just saying that like I think your cause is reasonable.
You're just saying people cannot be ambassador for humans because we cannot possibly understand their perspective.
I'm not saying I'm not being as categorical as this. I'm saying we should be wary whenever doing this kind of thing. I think your cause is great, and I think you have a strong point. But I think we should be wary whenever like talking from this perspective that we are human and they're animals, and we have a different cognition, basically, like way of seeing
I don't
society.
care. Let me ask you this way. Why is it wrong to harm a human? And this will solve it. Why is it wrong to harm a human?
Simply because socially it's more beneficial to...
No, so what if socially it's beneficial for you to harm a human?
Sure, why not?
Why is it wrong to harm a human?
That's not wrong.
It's not wrong. So if socially it's okay to harm a human, you think there's nothing wrong with harming a human?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Can I?
The only reason why it's wrong to harm
something
just
over
one
here?
second. The only reason why it's wrong to harm a human being is because they would feel the consequences of you harming them because they are sentient. The same thing that animals have. Sentient animals also possess sentience. The reason why it's wrong to harm an animal is because they are sentient and they would feel the repercussions of you harming them.
So,
If they wouldn't be sentient, there would be nothing wrong, right? Like if I smash my laptop on the ground, there's nothing wrong because my laptop doesn't feel me smashing them on the ground. If I smash a baby pig on the ground, however, they would feel me smashing their head on the ground because they are sentient, just like a human would. It's not about intelligence because there are cognitively impaired human beings who have the cognitive abilities of an animal. That doesn't mean that those human beings can be disregarded.
That's not true.
So
That's not
regardless
true.
of what you consider,
Hey, there's
the
a lot of
difference is
nuance here.
sentience.
There's a lot of nuance here.
What is the nuance?
Actually, I need to go. I
It's
need
true
to
that
go
we
because
are-
we have a guest
I would
here.
I would continue the discussion,
Yeah.
but we do actually need to run because we
But
have a friend visiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like overall, I just want to tell you that while building your arguments and
If
your
you're gonna
side-
attack how I built my arguments, I don't care.
No. I'm not attacking how you build your arguments. I just really hope that one day there's able to be a level of nuance, and also just
You should
I
be
want
able to abuse some
I
animals.
really want to tell you that the slippery
At least a
slope,
couple.
At least a
the
couple, right? Some
slippery
animals
slope
should be
and
abused.
categorization, it is very telling of the sort of stand that you're in,
Yeah.
and that means that there's no point of conversation.
Because I completely don't agree with the sheer
No.
fact of treating animals like objects, using them for something you don't need.
Because of the categorization and
Do you think you need animal products?
I think that you don't know what you're talking about.
Do you need
in
animal products?
In a scenario.
I'm actually studying to be a certified nutritionist, and I can tell you we don't need animal products. So you can, if you don't trust me on my soon-to-be
You're
gotten
studying to be-
certification,
you're-
yeah, a certified nutritionist. So
I'm
tell
so
me,
happy.
but there's also so many organizations of nutritionists
Sweetheart, we
and
really do need to go,
dietitians that say
though.
we don't need animal products to survive and thrive. And your choice to force animals into slaughterhouses, and you telling me that how dare I tell you
What's your name
how
again?
am I not more accepting of you
What's your
for
name
you
again?
for wanting to force
Look at
animals
me.
into
What's your name again?
slaughterhouses? I was talking.
Yeah, I know, but we really need
Okay.
to go.
Okay.
I'm here gonna say goodbye to you, but I'd like to know your name first.
Yeah, I'm Chip.
Chip, thank you so much for the talk. We really have to go.
Are you gonna continue abusing animals?
I am gonna continue doing my own life.
So you're gonna continue supporting animal abuse? Simple. You have other options, and yet you choose to abuse animals. Simple.
I really hope that you find a way to.
I really hope that you find a way to see what animals go through. The animals that you seem to think that they're not worthy of moral consideration enough for you to actually make a different choice in a fucking supermarket. You literally have to move your hand from here to here, and you literally are trying to find all sorts of justifications.
The
I want to
level
live
of
my life.
privilege?
I was taught this way. Yeah, the level of privilege you must have to think that animals are born for you, for the sole purpose of you having to slaughter them just because you get
You're
taste
so
pleasure or
aggressive right now. I
convenience.
have no idea.
Yeah, I
like,
am aggressive towards people who are animal abusers, yes. We should be aggressive towards people who want to continue supporting animal abuse, don't you think we should?
I don't think it's a reasonable way to promote an argument. Truly, like, if you are talking in terms of call to action, like anger, for instance, yeah, people can get angry and can like do action.
Of course I get angry.
Yeah,
you
for sure.
want to continue supporting
But-
animal abuse, that's what you're saying. How could I be supportive of you? You want my approval, you're not going to get it. Stop supporting animal abuse, that's it.
Anyway, well, thanks for the talk.
Yeah, I'm sorry
We'll
for
be
getting upset. That's not my purpose. My purpose is strictly to get you to stop abusing animals. You can stop.
Not the way
You can stop. You can stop.
you can breathe twice and find the empathy and consideration.
I cannot find empathy for you wanting to abuse animals.
Don't find empathy for me, but look at the world around you.
I cannot find empathy for you wanting to abuse animals. I'm sorry. I just cannot. You can stop. If you want to stop, I will find all the empathy for you and be nice to you. But if you want to continue abusing animals, why would I choose to be nice to you? No, I'm just not going to be nice to you. I'm going to tell you the truth. And that's the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. The truth is you're supporting animal abuse. You have other options.
Logically speaking, this also could technically be considered as abuse because you do have a point of view that you are portraying, and you are technically now morally harassing people in order to get
You
them
are
to
free
settle
to
your
go.
opinion.
You are free to
Sure.
go.
Thank you.
The
I
animals
was
that
fine
you
with the
force into
discussion.
slaughterhouses are not
Sure.
free to go.
Alrighty.
Simple.
Good luck.
I made somebody cry. There you go. Somebody just now said that I'm a nice guy. There you go. I'm not a nice guy. Don't think I'm a nice guy. I'm just here defending animals. And if somebody starts crying because all of a sudden I tell them the truth, I don't care. Don't feel bad, Chip. It's her guilt making her cry. I'm not feeling bad. She knows she could choose otherwise. It's not the first person I make cry, you know? It's like, I made other people cry. It's okay. Again, if you're crying because of the truth, that just means that some form of you are victimizing yourself. How can you victimize yourself when you're forcing animals into slaughterhouses? I literally don't care about anything about her. I never said she was bad or whatever. I literally just care about these actions that she's doing, forcing animals into slaughterhouses, treating animals like objects. Like, she was so distraught when it was about dogs, but oh, cows, chickens, pigs, oh, it's all fine. Let's find all sorts of justification to do that. The ridiculousness. Yeah, Martin, she cried, and what about the animals? Alexandra, hi Chip, what terrible people, my God. You did so well, I froze to death, so no live stream today. Oh, I'm sorry, but maybe tomorrow. It's cold and rainy here, happy to see you soon. Oh yeah, Alexandra's gonna come here, I'm looking forward for that. It's gonna be cool. Jason Archer, who is forcing animals into slaughterhouses? Jason Archer, it's really simple, the argument is really simple. You see, when you buy animal products, you are supporting an industry that is putting animals into slaughterhouses. And not just that you are supporting it, you are directly participating in forcing a certain animal into a slaughterhouse just because you wanted to buy that animal product. I don't know what your justification for wanting to do that is. Maybe it's taste, pleasure, maybe it's convenience. Whatever your justification is, I don't think it's ever morally justified to do so to any innocent sentient being. So perhaps stop, that's it. Because you have other options. The radicale veganary? No, she's not coming tomorrow. Oh, she's gonna stream tomorrow, but I don't know. I guess she I don't know. Alexandra, are you gonna stream tomorrow? But she's gonna come soon here, and we're gonna stream together, which is gonna be really cool. Jason Archer, I said if. How do you know what I buy and consume? I don't know what you buy and consume. I said if or when you buy an animal product. It's the same thing. It's a logical structure. If or when you buy an animal product, you will force an animal into a slaughterhouse. Regarding of the animal product, you will exploit an animal. You will treat them like an object. You should not do that because they are not objects. They are worthy of moral consideration. I don't care that she cried. I'm not proud or not proud. Hey, you guys want to try a social experiment?
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Are you guys okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Absolutely. Sure.
Yeah. Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? You guys got to come a little bit closer, because otherwise, yeah. So I'm gonna turn this around, and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Well, I disagree. Yeah.
You disagree? Let me explain to you my position, so that maybe you'll agree with it. And in fact, I bet that by the end of this conversation, you guys are gonna support my position, and you're gonna say that animal abuse should be legal.
Okay.
So I'm a dog farmer. Have you guys ever heard about dog farmers?
Yes.
So what I personally do is I breed the golden retrievers. I bring them to life. There's some form of forceful impregnation, whatever happening there. And after a year or so, when they're of the right weight, I tranquilize them and then I kill them. And then I use them for food.
Okay.
Would you guys buy dog meat?
Yeah. What?
Dog meat? I wouldn't personally.
I personally wouldn't.
I probably would.
You probably would, yeah. So you wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So to you guys who wouldn't, why not?
Well, I have a dog, so
Yeah,
it'd
so
be a
do I.
bit, so.
The same way, if I owned a pig, I probably would stop eating bacon because I would feel weird about it. I understand it's like very hypocritical, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah. So how do you feel? Why do you
Me personally, I wouldn't have dog meat. I wouldn't buy it because I've never tried it before. So to be honest, I just haven't tried it. So it doesn't scream to me like something I would eat. Dog meat. I feel like I have a personal attachment with dogs. You know, you see them around a lot, so I wouldn't choose to eat it. Personally.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So merely that you see them around, that's it.
Yeah, like there's some sort of emotional attachment, I guess.
Yeah, to that species of animal.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And do you think that if somebody doesn't have an emotional attachment to them, they should be okay with abusing them or killing them or whatever?
I think it'd make it easier, definitely.
I think what's interesting here, what do you mean by abuse?
By abuse? Yeah, like physical or emotional harm.
Okay, is it like intentional harm or is it slaughter?
I mean, slaughter is intentional harm, is it
No,
not?
but that is, how do I say this? There's like, do you know what I mean when I say abuse tends to have a connotation of like continuous, not necessarily to kill the animal, but just continuous harm against it.
Yeah.
Where slaughter is kind of, for the collection of meat.
Yeah. So if I slaughter a human being, it's okay.
No.
And it's not abusive.
Did not say that.
Is it abuse if I slaughter a human being?
I wouldn't say it's abuse. No, I'd say it's murder.
It's murder.
I'd say manslaughter.
Okay, then my sign should actually say then, murder should be legal.
No, because that's a dog. I wouldn't eat a human.
Okay. Why not?
Why not eat a human? Is your argument has become pro cannibalism?
Yeah. I mean, there's a term also for eating animals. It's called carnism.
Yeah. I wouldn't eat a human because, well, I feel like this is a point that should be naturally spoken. There's negative neurological effects that happens under cannibalism.
No, none of that. No, you can eat certain organs without any of that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Well, human sentience, that's another thing.
Just the human sentience is what matters.
Human sentience. Okay.
Not sentience in general.
No, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm a very pro-animal rights person. I wouldn't eat dog either, and I try to not eat.
How can you be pro-animal rights if you force animals into slaughterhouses?
I don't force. I actually.
Do you eat animal products?
Not. I do animal products. I've recently I started eating vegan food. Probably this last 2 weeks.
I would argue you probably ate vegan food your whole life because you've been eating plants your whole life.
Oh no, I mean exclusively vegan food.
Exclusively vegan food. Do you consume any animal products?
Not really anymore.
Not anymore?
I mean, I'm trying veganism.
You're trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what being vegan is, by the way?
The not lacking consumption of any animal products.
So that's a good one. No, but being vegan means literally just respecting animals, just not being against exploitation of animals.
Is that all it means?
That's all it means.
If you were to eat,
and as a consequence, obviously, you don't eat them or use their skin as a.
No. This is just a question. I'm not like trying to be.
Yeah.
But if I were to eat like eggs that were from chickens that had free-range farming, very like.
That's still exploitation.
Happy animals.
That's still exploiting them.
Okay.
Right.
Milk as well.
Oh, do you know what happens to dairy cows?
I'm saying if there was a way to do it in a kind of more less exploitative way, like these animals that have been for years and years and years selectively bred to produce this milk. If they were to all be slaughtered, like they do exist now, that is just a point we have to agree on, to produce this milk over their entire life for like unhealthy amounts, copious amounts, what would you say, like there has to be a way to take care of them in a healthy way. Do you, like, there has to be a way to do it in an ethical way. And in doing so, they do produce more milk than you need.
Well, they only produce milk if they have kids.
I know that.
They produce the milk for their kids.
I know that, but they do produce excess milk because of selective breeding.
They only produce excess milk because we select. Yeah, because we select.
Like, but we are at a point with cows where they do have excess milk. Like that is just like we've gotten to that point. Like it shouldn't have happened, but we are there now over thousands of years.
I would still not objectify animals. Would you do that to a female human?
No, I wouldn't drink human breast milk.
Why? So what's the difference?
I'm just saying, if we are at a point where this is happening, like
I would argue it's actually way more moral to drink female breast milk because, female breast milk because like women's breast milk would imply some form of consent, whereas with cows you have zero consent.
I'm just trying to understand, like ethically, if it's already at a point where it's happening, would you say it's okay? Because I don't know what else we would do with all this excess cow's milk that is already being.
Why do we have to do something with it?
As opposed to letting it spoil.
As opposed to letting the animal keep it.
Because there's no.
What do we have to do with all that extra sperm you have in your ball sack?
I mean, Tice.
I mean, come on. It's you keep it. It's yours. What do you mean? Why would we assume that milk has to be ours?
Because milk is a very useful. It's very nutritionally dense.
So is sperm.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's actually.
Well, there's still a societal connotation. I'm just saying, like, I'm genuinely asking here. Surely cow's milk, which is it's a nutrient-dense thing, it's good, like, to drink for people's health. If we're at a point where we already have a bunch of excess of it, like, I understand ethically.
But we don't have. That's the thing. That's where you're wrong. We don't have any of that milk. The milk belongs to them. It's not that, like, if I were to tell you, well, we have excess sperm because you have some in your ball sack. I'm completely disregarding what you want to do with it or whether you even want to remove it from your body. So why would I all of a sudden think that cow wants me to take it from them? Like, I can't get consent. If I don't get consent from you, I could never get that from you. So why is it okay to do it to a cow? Why is it okay to non-consensually to take their milk?
There's also supply and demand though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're saying, it might be better to get it off females, but how many females do you think are going to come forward and be like, oh yeah, we'd happily give it out for commercial use compared to...
So then don't have any milk, So then don't have any breast milk.
Yeah, but then you've basically destroyed the whole industry. You've destroyed thousands of jobs worldwide.
Don't you think that when there was slavery times, when we destroyed slavery, we destroyed the whole industry with it?
Yeah, but then it got replaced with actual high-paying jobs instead.
So this can get replaced with plant-based milk, with other options,
but then
right?
that leads to more deforestation, which...
No, it's actually the largest deforestation in the world is happening because of animal agriculture.
Dairy production does take the
and dairy is pretty high on the...
That is a good point.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
But this isn't about that, right? This is about like literally respecting animals at the end of the day, right? Because if we, like as you said, like what do we do with them? Like this whole thought of us seeing them as resources, as something for us to do to them. Do you think that animals are here for us, or do you think that they're here with us?
I don't feel like that's what you're arguing.
Yeah. I know it's kind of a reverse psychology thing, right? Like where I try to.
Can I ask you one more question? This is again, I'm not trying to be argumentative.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just genuinely getting your
You
opinion.
can be argumentative
because
also,
I don't want to
fine,
be because I'm assuming you're very animal rights.
Yeah.
I just want to get your opinion on something, which is as kind of push forward. What are your thoughts on like insects?
I mean, if they're sentient, and most insects are sentient, then I say that it's wrong to use them.
Insects.
Yeah, you should not use them in any way.
In any capacity.
Don't use them. Yeah, just like again, any sentient being, I wouldn't use them because they are deserving of autonomy. They deserve to decide what they want to do with their own body.
Where do you draw the line at sentience?
Just sentience.
I want to know what that is. That
like sentience literally means just having emotions, feelings, and a subjective experience. That's what matters the most to me, subjective experience. That literally means that you're the subject of your own universe, right? Just like you are now experiencing the world through your eyes, you have no idea how your friend is experiencing the world through their eyes, but you assume that they are. And the same all animals are. We don't really know how they're experiencing the world through their eyes, but they are. Behind those eyes, there's an individual who thinks, who wants, who emotes, who dreams. All of these are all applicable to all the animals that we farm. So in that sense, if you were to ask yourself what matters to you most in life, I don't think you would ever say the knowledge that I gained or well, whatever I learned. But what matters the most in life is all the experiences you've had, all the emotions that you felt throughout the way, all the social experiences you had. All these animals have exactly that. So in that sense, they are like us in all the ways that matter. So for us to use them for whatever we please, just because we get some benefit from it, I would argue it's wrong, just like it would be for other humans, right? It's YouTube, guys.
YouTube.
But do you guys mind? We're having a conversation right here. If you want, you can wait. But right now we're having a conversation.
What about it?
Why you don't make conversation about eat cheese?
Oh, but he already knows that he supports animal abuse by eating cheese, and he's okay with supporting animal abuse.
What animal?
Abuse.
That's not good. We are vegan.
You're vegan?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's what I'm doing here. There you
Oh
go.
my god. Oh my god, that's
Yeah.
extra. This is not good.
No, neither of us really
You
are.
changed your mind?
No, the cow milk is not good milk. It's like you use your breast milk and eat it. That's disgusting. I must go here. Bye bye.
Yeah. I mean, it's tasty, sure. But do you know how it's got? Do you know what happens to dairy cows? Can I help you? Oh, well, no, we don't smoke, sorry.
I'm gonna burn you alive! And everybody's gonna hear why you're fucking screaming.
Please go away. Jesus Christ.
Is this normal?
No, this is not normal. I have not had this happen. No. No, and also I have not had happen where like the conversations have been so interrupted. But yeah,
One interesting gentleman.
Yeah. Well,
I would not call him interesting, but yeah.
Well,
this conversation was interesting.
Yeah. The conversation is interesting. So at the end of the day, you gotta ask yourself where you want to be, right? Because if you don't consider yourself a violent person, why would you be violent towards animals? It's as easy as that. And you're gonna say, well, I'm not violent towards animals. Somebody is. But if you're paying somebody to be violent to animals just so that you get the product that you get pleasure from it, and that is taste pleasure, then it's literally you are being violent towards the animals. It starts with you. Those animals would not be exploited, abused, or slaughtered if you would not pay for it. It's as easy as that. And dairy cows, dairy cows go
Dairy
through.
farmer over here, tell him.
Yeah. Do you know what happens to dairy cows? If you're a dairy
does
farmer?
he milks them.
He milks them.
It-
Yeah.
It's like-
Are they forcefully impregnated?
Huh?
Are they forcefully impregnated?
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens? So forceful impregnation, isn't that already fucked up or abusive?
Yeah, it's abusive. and that.
Yeah. There you go.
But at the same time, how would you get your milk if they weren't?
Well, it's not your milk, is it? It's the cow's milk.
No,
But it's only the cows.
cows
milk
die if
when
they're not
they-
regularly milked. That is the only thing that I can say is positive.
They don't die if you don't. You don't have to forcefully impregnate them to produce milk. You don't have to use them with resources. You don't have to. What do you do with their
They have a
babies?
short lifespan anyway.
What do you do with their babies?
Well,
Separate.
they get sold.
You separate them, and what do you do with them?
I don't know. They get sold on to other.
If they're
farms.
born male,
They all get sold as bulls.
they get killed, huh?
I don't know.
You don't know. What do you do with
I
them?
don't have nothing to do with that side of the business.
No.
Oh, you just sell them.
I
No,
just
no,
milk the
he, no, he
cows.
just works with the cows. He just milks them. He doesn't know
Ah,
what
you just
happens.
milk them.
I just milk
Happens
them.
after they get put in a van or anything like that.
Yeah. Male cows, they get killed. Female cows get forcefully impregnated every year so that they produce milk. And when they can no longer be impregnated, they get killed themselves. If we do this to a human being, we would definitely consider it abuse and we would say it's fucked up. But somehow, because they're a different species than us, we consider it okay, right?
I think it's sad. Yeah. But saying that, I also like cereal. So,
How do you guys feel about it? Because you're the ones who I was talking to. I'm sorry we got interrupted over there.
No, it's just,
I mean, I think it also depends like where you live. Certain continents, countries, it's a lot harder to get the resources or stuff you need to actually live. So then you're gonna.
But are you in those situations?
Not me personally, but I'm just saying like in general in the whole world, not everyone can afford to be vegan, to be.
But then wouldn't you argue then you who can, and all of you three who can, have a bigger responsibility than to be vegan, because then all the other people who cannot do it would be able to do it. If everybody who can do it will do it, then everybody else will also be able to do it, because it's economies of scale, right? It scales up. The more people are vegan, the more affordable vegan products become, because I'm assuming you mean plant-based, or you mean like vegan meat, because the reality is that being vegan is actually cheaper, because we eat pasta, rice, beans, lentils, chickpeas. These are the cheapest things in the supermarket.
I mean, yeah, maybe, but what I'd say is that you can't really say, oh, if this person's eating meat like chicken, then they're an abuser or stuff like that, because
They're supporting animal abuse, maybe unknowingly, but they are.
They have to live, so if someone, in a different continent like Africa kills a chicken or whatever, they just have to live. That's just them, and they maybe don't want to kill the chicken. They don't want to kill them.
Would you say the same about them if they kill a human being to eat them? They have to live. Would you justify it the same way we justify it when they kill animals?
I mean, if it was like a plane crash or something like that, and the only way to live is to eat a human.
There you go.
But they're not an abuse. You can't really call them an abuser. It's just sometimes living is hard.
When there is a need, I wouldn't say that's abusive, as you said it. But if there is a need, but the sheer reality is that there is no need for any of you to consume animal products. You do it because you want to, or because you have a choice. You choose to consume animal products. You choose for these animals to be exploited, abused, and slaughtered for you. And I understand that in the past maybe you weren't aware of it, but what you choose to do going forward is an actual choice of you forcing an animal into a slaughterhouse. If in the past you were absolved because you didn't know, now you know.
I mean, me personally, I think if you label me as someone who's making them go to the slaughterhouse, for me, I think that's just a bit.
It starts with you.
I think it's a bit extreme, personally.
Why? If there were only people like me in this city of Amsterdam, do you think supermarkets would have animal products?
No, but you can't tell the whole population.
So
to
there
stop
you go.
that.
So it is demand.
I think
demand.
it's a very theoretical case that you want.
But it's supply and demand. One person going vegan saves up to between 100 and 300 animals per year, depending, of course, on how much and how many animal products they consume. That's 100 to 300 individuals who get exploited and killed specifically for you and because of you, that you could otherwise choose not to. That isn't.
I understand the statistic, but I think it's. You can't just label someone an abuser because they eat chicken. I mean, I think what is good is if you try and implement.
If they knowingly know they're supporting animal abuse, then they are abusive.
Yeah, I disagree, but I think if you try and implement a vegan style alongside what you do normally, I think, and if you try to improve what you do, I think that's good. But just making someone forced to a different lifestyle, I think.
So nobody's forcing you into anything, but you are forcing animals into slaughterhouses. You have a problem with forcing.
I am not really doing that, though.
But you are paying a farm, like part of your money is going towards forcing animals into slaughterhouses, is it not?
I mean, I suppose, but when you label me as an abuser, I think it's just I just disagree with that.
I mean, you can label yourself however you want. I don't really care about labels, to be honest. I literally don't care about labels. I don't care if you want to call yourself vegan or plant-based, or you don't want to call yourself anything at all. At the end of the day, all I want is for animals to no longer go into slaughterhouses. And that's why I sit here and talk to people, because I want them to understand the perspective of animals. When it comes to dogs, you would say you would never buy dog meat. You would say, you said that you yourself wouldn't buy it.
Yeah,
so how is it that when it comes to any other animal, you think their life is no longer deserving, they don't deserve any moral consideration, but dogs do?
And that's not. I don't think their life isn't worth deserving. It's just the way it is.
Well, it's not. The way it is because you make it that way. For you, specifically the animals that die, that are bred specifically because of you and for you, are because of you. They're not. They are just they are. They are there because of you.
Well.
Don't you think you have some responsibility in the matter, or do you want to absolve yourself of any responsibility?
And that vocabulary is a bit interesting in my opinion, but look, I just think we should all try and be better, but you can't just say everyone should be this way.
Do you not have any responsibility in the matter? Oh, everybody should be a feminist, 100%. Everybody should be 100% not a racist. Everybody 100% should not be a rapist. Everybody 100% should be should have freedom to exercise their sexual preference along with consent. So yes, I can definitely tell you 100% that everybody should be that way, and everybody 100% should be vegan, because vegan literally just means leaving animals alone because you have other choices.
I mean, I think it's very harsh to label someone as an abuser or whatever just because they eat meat from time to time.
Would you call somebody an abuser if I go around killing dogs for food?
I'd question what you like to do for fun, but I mean, there's no purpose to that. It's not really a purpose.
For food.
But you said for fun.
No, I said for food.
You said for food. Okay. I mean, I don't don't know. It's an abuser. I mean, if,
I don't
if,
care
if,
about the label.
if you
again.
have to live,
My question is, do you think it's right or wrong? That's it. I don't care about the label.
do I think it's right or wrong that
Yeah.
animals? I mean, I think it's not nice, but it's just the way the world works, and especially in some areas, it just has to happen.
But do you think that if you had your attitude towards any injustice that happened throughout the world, when it came to slavery, when it came to women not having rights, we could have always said, well, it's just the way the world worked.
Well,
if everybody has this attitude, then nothing gets changed, and the world always remains the same.
My attitude is sometimes it's needed, whether you like it or not. Certain countries don't have what everyone else is.
But I'm not talking to other countries. I'm talking
Well, I think
specifically
it's a-
about
it's
you
a
and your
world issue.
choice.
You can't really just concentrate it on a specific area. I think in general, if you want.
So if the world cannot be fixed on its own, you're just gonna there's always gonna be people raping other people. If that's always gonna happen, then you should also be able to do it, right? There's always gonna be people eating other animals, so therefore you should also do it. Or how is that? How does that
Well,
morally
I
justify?
said you should try and turn some of your lifestyle to vegan, but I mean, not everyone's gonna have the same viewpoint or think it the same way, but you don't need to just force it because people tell you to.
I'm not forcing anybody,
No,
and
I'm not saying, but
I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to grasp your morals, because according to your morals, it's wrong to do it to dogs, but somehow okay to do it to cows. So I'm just trying to understand how that goes.
No, I say you can do it to dogs if you want, but
No, why is it that you do think it's wrong to do to dogs?
Well, I just me personally, I wouldn't do it to a dog.
Why?
Because it's just not. I'm not appealed to dog meat personally.
Why?
I think it's just
Never had it.
It's just because it's how it's been like socially since
Yeah.
forever.
Never had it.
I mean,
you've just been taught that way.
What I mean, back since like medieval ages, basically ever since we started farming, agriculture from like cows, pigs, that sort of thing has just been a thing. Whereas dogs have been like there to herd the sheep, that sort of thing. So it's always been seen as, oh, this is friend, this is food. I think that's just a very difficult thing to like change, considering it's been there for.
I understand that, but like I want to ask, like I understand
I'm
it's
not saying you
difficult to
can't
change in
but I'm saying
society,
It's just
but
very difficult to convince everyone to change like that.
But that's the thing, you know, when we talk about societies and we talk about all this, we usually absolve ourselves of the responsibility we have as individuals. I'm talking to you four, and I want to understand your responsibilities as individuals. I understand the society. I know about the society. It's difficult to change the society, but change in society starts with individuals. And if individuals do not want to change, then society obviously doesn't change. So if you think society should change in that matter, then we should stop exploiting animals, then you should also be part of that change, shouldn't you?
Yeah, no. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think everybody, because your argument is basically everybody goes vegan, supply meets demand, like prices go down, basically.
Overly simplistic way, yeah.
So that's your point. Right now, I would argue that going vegan, unless you want to just eat pasta, lentil, like very basic foods, it's going to be economically quite difficult for some people to go full-time vegan. I'm not saying you shouldn't, maybe implement some vegan meals.
I mean, that's not true. It's actually, there's 3 studies done on Western Europe, Australia, UK, and US, and it's actually like between 10 to 30% cheaper to be plant-based on the diet. Yeah, because a lot of the times, we think that we look at mock meats or plant-based meats and we think that those are expensive.
Yeah.
And that's true. Some of them are, but there's also some that are pretty reasonably priced. And there's also, you don't have to eat those every day. You might eat them out of convenience once a week, twice a week or something, and then every other time you could eat like tofu or tempeh or anything else.
Are you trying to get us to become a full-time vegan right here, right now?
I want to get you to respect animals, so yes, that means going vegan.
Fully vegan right here, right now.
I mean,
no matter, like, even if it's...
Fully vegan means there's no half vegan. You either respect animals or you don't.
Yeah, I'm saying, but my argument is, you could cut down to some vegan meals purely out of, like, an attempt to do something, while also you got to think about how difficult it can be for some people in terms of dedicating their research, like time to researching what they can and can't eat as vegans, like thinking about just the huge change to lifestyle that will have more than just what you eat. It's about the time you spend and the money you spend.
But the way I see it is you don't really spend more time, do you? When it comes to food, for example, you just have to make different choices. That's it.
I mean, making those choices is time consuming. Checking everything I'm getting.
But wouldn't you be making those choices anyway? It's not like somebody's making those choices for you.
No, I'm saying it'd be time consuming. I mean, it would be time consuming to check all my.
But not much more time consuming than you would otherwise eat anything else, right? Because you're again making choices. Any other day.
Right.
But like when you eat, you make a choice. Nobody's forcing you into a choice.
No, I know. What I'm trying to argue is that looking at every product you get, and kind of every single change to your lifestyle you'll have to analyze to check if it is doing well. And that is a very complicated endeavor to go through the entire system and make sure no harm is done to animals. I'm saying, are you saying everybody should be doing that? Or are you trying to convince us maybe to try and start that?
So let me put it this way. In an ideal world,
Yeah.
everybody in the world would be vegan, right? In my ideal world, all animals are respected, all humans are respected. I believe in human rights, I believe in animal rights. All of them are extremely important because individuals are important, right? As I said, if they feel, they need to be respected. That's in my ideal world. Now, speaking when I talk to you, of course, the ideal outcome of this conversation would be that all four of you say that I don't want to be exploiting animals and I want to be vegan from now on. Of course, but I'm a realistic person. I understand that perhaps you may not make this choice. I don't know what it is that you want to do. If I were in your position, what I would see it is, oh, this guy brought up some good points. Maybe I never thought about it this way. Do I really want to be indoctrinated, or do I really want to be indoctrinated with what somebody told me it's okay, or do I want to challenge my beliefs? So if you are that person who wants to challenge their beliefs, who want to think for yourself, then I think maybe seeking out veganism, seeking out what veganism is about and looking more into it, it does take some effort. Let's say, I don't know, an hour a day or an hour one day or something.
Yeah. Okay, so you're happy for us to just walk away from the conversation, having gained knowledge and a new insight into things.
I
Maybe
mean,
walking away and thinking separately about becoming vegan.
I mean, happy is a strong word. I'd rather you go vegan, of course.
I mean,
but
that's not okay.
Yeah, but
So
I can't.
that's what
Let me
being
just
vegan
put it this way.
right now is
I can't force you to into anything, right?
Yeah.
I fully understand that I can't force you
Yeah,
into
yeah.
anything. All I want from you is to kind of understand the perspective of veganism, to understand that the whole point is about respecting animals, and to hopefully get you to look into it more and make the choice. But I can't police you knowing that you'll make the choice or not. Like, that's just something I
mean, I'm not a full-time vegan. Like, obviously, I'm trying something. Us four walking out of this being full-time vegans, like with anybody that you get here, it's realistically not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm definitely gonna go away and kind of think more about this.
Okay.
I assume you guys are as well.
Well, I appreciate this conversation. Can I give you some cards and look more into it? I think that's the easiest. And because, a lot of the times animal agriculture has a financial incentive to sell you this bullshit image of animals on a...
Is this AI?
Yeah, this is just my card. That's it.
Let's just hold on to one of us.
I'll just give you one, and can you
we'll
share it
just-
amongst each other?
yeah.
So what I recommend is that you scan that QR code, and that you watch. There's a thing called either Dominion or the most important speech you'll ever hear.
Okay.
Dominion is a bit more gruesome, but it does show you everything that animal agriculture does.
And is that you at the bottom?
Yeah, and that's me. And the most important speech you'll ever hear, it's a really good speech.
Okay.
If you want to give that a watch, it discusses everything that happens in animal agriculture. Because you had questions about eggs, about milk, and I think the most important speech might be a really good one for you. Okay. It's also a very good speech. I sent it to a lot of my friends who are not vegan. Not everybody became vegan, of course, from watching it. Actually, my friends didn't, but they enjoyed the speech nevertheless. So I urge you to watch it either way, okay? And if you choose that you want to be vegan, you have resources there to help you out for free. All of it is free, okay? Hey, thank you for having this conversation with me.
Thank you for your time.
And I hope you understand the perspective. And it's about the animals, okay? And if I have frustrated you in any way, don't take it out on the animals, okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Have a good one. This chat is crazy, bro, says 3D printing guy. I mean, it's not just the chat. The whole situation was crazy. There were two people who were vegan who came along. There were the guy who milks cows who came along. There was the scary guy. It was a weird thing, yeah. None of them cried. I was Tibor yesterday. Tibor. I forgot your name, but yeah, I remember who you were. Been an interesting day, says Casey. Yeah. Peace out. I'm gonna go grab some innocent sentient beings skin, says Icicle. So Icicle believes that it's okay to murder animals as long as you get some pleasure from it. I gotcha. It's kind of fucked up if you ask me. Yeah, a lot of people don't want their opinions to be changed. That's true. A lot of people justify whatever it is that they want to do, but hey, we'll do our best, right? At the end of the day, we gotta get there. Icicle says, yeah, don't care, it's delish. Yeah, Icicle, you're basically exactly the same as any Nazi, any other person who committed horrible atrocities throughout history, because, you know, you get some form of pleasure, you have power over them, and you can do it, then that means justifies and you don't really care. Your apathy is disgusting, I would argue, but hey, you do you. I cannot force you to do anything, sadly, so at the end of the day, if you want to be the type of person who thinks violence is okay as long as you get pleasure from it, then you do that. I cannot stop you. And by the way, everybody, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You know, and the situations, they don't, I think people who have been in the stream, situations never go actually crazy. But that guy who was screaming at me got me a little bit scared. But either way, I moved a little bit away from it. Hey, you guys want to try the social experiment? Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel? Can you come a little bit closer so that you're in view? So what are your names?
My name is Dver.
Dver?
Yes, yes.
Nice to meet you. What about you?
Fransje.
Fransje and Dver. I'm Chip. Okay. So I'm going to turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Sorry, what? What?
Animal abuse should be legal.
No. No.
No. Let me explain my situation and maybe you'll agree with me, and actually I bet you that after this, not only that you'll agree with me, but you'll want to go and abuse animals yourselves. So what I do is I'm a dog farmer. Have you guys ever heard about what a dog farmer is?
Yes.
So I personally...
English is not so good.
That's okay, that's okay. So what I'd like to do... You're doing great, by the way. So what I like to do is I breed golden retrievers. Do you know what how golden retrievers are?
Yes.
Yeah, so I breed them, and when the right age comes, like around 1 year old, I put a bolt gun to their head, then slash their throat, and then I eat them. So I breed dogs for food.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Would you support that?
No, not really. No.
Not really.
No.
Why not?
Because you hurt the animals, and then they get hurt. So yeah.
Oh no, but I use a bolt gun. They barely feel any pain.
But it's still their lives, so yeah.
But I get food from it, right? That's nutrition.
Yeah. I don't think it's that good, but what do you think?
You mean it's not? It doesn't taste good, or what?
No. I think they should live.
It's not much food. It's dog. It's
Oh,
not.
that's okay. I breed a lot of dogs. It's not just one. It's a lot of flesh. Yeah. Like if you imagine 10 golden retrievers, it's like 500 kilograms. It's almost the same as a cow.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you okay with that?
I can do anything about it.
No, you can do anything. That's true. But would you support it? Would you buy dog meat?
No.
Why not? I'm
don't.
assuming you do buy other animal meat, right?
Yes.
So what's the difference?
The animal.
Say it again.
The animal.
Yeah, but what's the difference between those animals that says, in your view, that it's okay to do it to them, but not the dogs?
I don't say if it's okay.
Ah, you don't say it's okay. So then why do you buy animal products?
Because my parents done it.
Yeah. So if your parents were to buy dog meat, would you consume it?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. How about you?
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, yeah.
So where is this line that you wouldn't? That you don't have any line that you wouldn't cross? What about humans? If your parents start chopping humans up for food?
No.
No.
Gone too far.
Why? Why is that too far?
Because it's the same as you.
Oh, so we belong to the same group.
Yes. Yeah.
But why does that matter? Right? Like that isn't that what I don't know racists say when they say, well, they're the same group as us, they're the same race, so then it's okay to do this to them.
Racist.
No, it's not, because-
Racist is if you're the same group but different.
But it's still discriminatory, right?
No, it's a difference.
Well, you discriminate based on species. It's called speciesism. It's a discrimination.
I don't know what it is.
It's discriminating based on species. Like, let's imagine this way. Did you choose to be born human?
No.
So if you were born a cow, do you think you would have been killed?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Would that be okay for you?
No.
No. So why would it be okay for us to do this to them then? They're still individuals. They still have thoughts, emotions. They have, there's a somebody behind those eyes. So how can we just kill somebody to get food when we don't need to? Because we can get plants and plant-based options, right? We don't need.
Is it dangerous if you eat human?
I think there's certain organs you can eat without any danger, as long as you cook them. Just the same as meat.
Oh. Volgens mij is het wel gevaarlijk. Ja. Je kan het ziek raken.
Yeah, but I'm a little confused. But
Yeah, it's a reverse. By the way, it's a reverse psychology experiment, right? Like I'm just trying to get people to understand this perspective, right?
Yeah,
of the
I know.
animals.
I understand it, but I still don't want to eat dogs.
A dog or cat or something.
It's just, but I don't have a.
But do you realize why? Do you have any motivation or why, or is it just because you've been told to respect dogs and not respect cows?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just because
I
you've been
respect
told
cows.
that way.
Yeah. I respect cows.
How do you respect them if you kill them for something you don't need?
You need to eat something.
But you don't need to eat animals. I could argue eating humans by saying you need to eat something. You don't need to eat humans. You don't need to eat animals.
So you can have a taste.
You can have taste from plants and plant-based products.
Why do you want so badly is that I eat dogs?
I don't want you to eat dogs. I want you to realize that you eating dogs is exactly the same as you eating pigs or cows.
I realize that.
Yeah.
I realize from
Or
the
humans at the end of the day. It's exactly the same thing.
beginning It's the same thing, but I don't want to do it. That's it.
Yeah. But do you understand why you don't want to do it?
Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want to. I have free.
Well, I don't want to because I don't want to. It's a tautology. It doesn't mean anything. You have to specify a reason. Otherwise, it's a.
You have. What is your reason to eat humans then?
I don't need any individual who has sentience. Basically, any individual who feels, who has emotions, I don't eat them. Any individual who has thoughts, who has dreams, who there's a somebody. Any individual who's a somebody, I don't eat them. I don't treat them as a product.
You are vegetarian?
I'm vegan, yeah.
Oh, vegan. Okay.
Yeah, because vegetarians, they still treat cows like objects. Do you know what happens to dairy cows, for example?
I don't. What is that?
Ik weet niet.
Dairy cows are the cows that produce milk.
Breeze milk?
Produce milk.
Breeze milk.
Yeah.
Produce milk, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Like that's used for cheese, for milk, for everything like that. Yeah. So why do cows produce milk?
Because it's built like it. Yeah.
No? Okay.
You also produce milk, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Why do you produce milk?
For my child.
Exactly. So cows are the same. They produce milk for their children, for their babies. So farmers, but there's a difference. You only produce milk or you only have babies when you want to have babies, correct?
Yes.
Well, cows don't decide that. Farmers decide for them. They literally forcefully impregnate them whenever they need them to be pregnant to produce milk. And that happens every year.
Oh, that's
it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But we can do anything about it. But yeah, so
What do you think happens to the babies?
from the cows. That's. Oh yes.
Well, so the first thing that happens is they get separated from their mothers so that they don't drink the milk. Because if they were to drink the milk, farmers couldn't sell everything, right? So
Yeah.
they need to portion how much they sell and how much they drink.
Okay.
That's the first thing. And then afterwards, if they're born male, yes, they get killed. If they're born female, the same fate as their mothers. Every year, they're forcefully impregnated, have their babies taken from them for 6 times. That means 6 years. And after which, no body is built to be forcefully impregnated every year. And after which, they can no longer be impregnated, and then they get killed. And they can live up to 25 years. So, a quarter of their lifespan. How old are you?
14. 14.
14, how about you?
15.
Yeah, well, imagine living up to 20 years old because somebody says that that's your purpose in life, for you to be used as an object that produces milk.
Oh, that's not good.
But that's what we do to them.
Oh.
And that's literally when you buy animal products, when you buy cheese or milk, you're telling the farmers, do more of whatever it is that you're doing. Treat animals like objects so that I get my milk and my cheese. But that was never your milk in the first place. It belonged to the cow.
Oh. Now I realize that. So, thank you.
But
Yeah.
what need we to eat if we don't have milk or
You have plant milk, you have plant cheese, you have plant-based options, right? All sorts of options, right? But like, why is it that other animals have to suffer so that you can get some nutrition? Like, do you think animals should be treated like objects?
Of course not.
But do you think animals are treated like objects?
Yes.
Do you think you have some form of responsibility in the matter?
No, I feel like I don't. Wat bedoelt hij nou? Ik weet niet. What did you say exactly?
Do you have some responsibility in the matter?
In a matter, wat betekent dat?
Like in the fact that animals are treated like objects, do you have some responsibility?
Little, I think.
You have more because you make the choice, right? I'm assuming your parents don't force you to eat something. No, so you make choices. So when you make these choices, animals down the line, they get treated like objects, as I described to you.
All right.
Okay, can I give you some cards to look more into it? So here you go. I would recommend you watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You just gotta scan that QR code.
Oh.
Okay? You gonna promise me you'll watch that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. Bye. So-and-so, the conversation wasn't that great. Maybe it's because their Dutch wasn't not that good. Their English was not that good. I don't know. Whatever. But we're okay. We'll continue to inform people. That's what we do. And thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate you for being here. And I hope you have subscribed if you're not subscribed. And I hope you hit that like because, hey, we do this often. We do this quite a couple of times per week. And we try to challenge the beliefs that people have. And we try to, see if they're morally consistent or not. Save the plants. Yeah, save the plants. Go vegan. That's the only way to actually save plants. I think somebody in the chat can explain what I mean by that.
I want to know what you are doing.
Hi, I'm doing a social experiment. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Ah, I don't like social media.
You can be off camera if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What's your name?
Vanessa,
Vanessa. Nice to meet you. I'm Chip. What's your name?
Simona.
Simona. Nice to meet you. Where are you guys from?
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. Oh, in Italy. Okay. I'll turn this around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Should be legal.
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Why it should be legal? Like the abuse, it shouldn't be legal to any of the beings in this planet.
So let me explain, because if I explain to you my situation, I'm sure you understand. So I'm a dog farmer. Do you know what the dog farmer is?
Yeah, you create more breeds and then you make it like more pure.
Yeah. So I breed golden retrievers specifically, and when the right age comes, that's usually around 1 year old because they grow big up to 1 year old. Afterward, they don't grow that much bigger. I put a bolt gun to their head and a knife to their throat, and I kill them, and then I use them for food and their skin for clothing and stuff.
No, this is not what you do.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm part of Elwood Organic Dog Meat. See? We're in Australia and the US.
Really?
Yeah.
It's something that if you have sympathy for the dogs, you should have it some also for the cows, for the pigs and stuff as well.
Is that what you think?
No, I mean it seems to me as a sort of way a provocative question.
Yeah.
That's like if you feel bad of a golden retrieval.
Well, how do you feel about me farming dogs?
Well, I mean, honestly, it doesn't leave me unaffected in the sense that, yeah.
How do you feel?
I mean, I was laughing because I was thinking that it was surreal. But yes, of course, I mean, it's no different of what we do with other animals, that we also like grow them like until an age where like they are. So then, yes, indeed.
So it should be okay to do to dogs also then.
Well, the problem I think that we have domesticated dogs too much, like to be close to our, like to our empathy as humans, right?
Oh, no,
So then-
there's a lot of dogs who are domesticated for this specific purpose
Yeah,
of
yeah.
being eaten. So
Yeah, I mean, then go and do it. I mean, if they do it for other animals.
so you're okay with it.
No, but. it's
Why
the
aren't
same
you okay with it?
Well, I will say, for example, I will not be mad at eating dog, to be honest, because, for example, in Mexico there was a taqueria that they found that they were like eating stray dogs. And for me, I was just thinking, well, let's use the resources of what we have instead of like growing them to then make it. No, in that case, I was just thinking, well, they have a poor life in the streets of Mexico, so then like they are stray dogs, they are like not having them, and there's no way that we have enough refugees to save them, all of them. So then if you are going to use our meat to then continue something, instead of like maybe eat, like killing another animal, then let's do it. But in this case, it's farming, but I mean, it's not different than, as you said, like of other animals.
Yeah.
So it's about like consumerism and who decides to consume.
We should also be able to farm humans at the same time, right?
No, well.
Well, in Mexico
well,
there was the pozole that was made
no,
of
but
human
no,
meat back in the
but
days.
no, because I think that in that case we are already doing it, no?
Are we farming humans?
Well, not, but we are like committing like worst things, I would say, like than farming them. Like we
would say
we exploit them. We also then put them in really shitty situations where like it's even like a torture to continue living like that when they don't have like the same rights and then the same reality as others. So then at the end you are farming them. Also the operation to the global south, that's a representation of like the farming of like, but in a bigger system.
So would you pay for humans to be farmed?
No.
So would you pay for dogs to be farmed?
No.
So would you pay for cows to be farmed?
No.
Would you pay for any animal to be farmed?
I think that in a responsible way, maybe farming, like it can be like in terms of, I mean, of course, like we need. I think that in this case, what we are talking about, like food, in terms of food, is like is the consumerism the problem, and it's also like how we are like wasting also a lot of food instead of like we produce more than what we.
Oh, but any human that we farm, we are responsible. We use the whole meat.
Every dog.
The dog, you mean?
Yeah.
Dogs and humans, tomato.
Okay. Well,
But I'm trying to understand your perspective, right? Like obviously it's a reverse psychology experiment. I hope you realize this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
no,
realize
definitely.
it,
No, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to understand your perspective, like because you say that farming, you wouldn't pay for farming dogs, for example. Obviously, I could go with humans, but dogs is the easiest, right? So you say you wouldn't pay for farming dogs, but you are okay with farming other animals if it were, I don't know, farmed properly or something. Why is that not the case for dogs? What's the difference?
No.
between the
I mean, I
animals?
would say, okay, then also let's do it with dogs, but then it's more about like, it's not about which animal is going to be farmed.
But
It's
humans
more
are
about,
animals
like,
too, so then why not farm humans?
Because then that will be maybe more. We cannot digest humans that easily as we can digest maybe cows.
So it's strictly your only problem with farming humans is
no, it's
the
not.
fact that it would be difficult for you to consume the product that you get out of the farm.
No. But I mean, I'm just trying to then maybe play the role of like, okay, let's try to think about like all as the same as humans, but.
Listen, I understand the perspective. The reason why I bring up these subjects is because the reality of the animals that are forced into slaughterhouses that are used are strictly objectified by us.
Yeah.
For something that we don't actually need, because we can get nutrition from plants and plant-based products. We have readily available options all the time. And when we choose to force animals into slaughterhouses into positions where we farm them, we're creating fucking hell for them. And I'm sorry for swearing right there.
Yeah.
It's just that, I mean, we can joke all around, but for them it's no joke, right? For them it's life and death. It's literally being exploited, being used as objects. And I'm just trying to grasp, like, because the reason why this is happening is because people like myself used to pay for it. I no longer do, but people like yourself still do. And that's why I have these conversations with people on the street, because I just want to inform you that you don't need to do this.
Yeah.
You can't choose otherwise. And I'm trying to understand why it is that you're still continuing. Like,
That's what I was saying. For me, I'm just going to say that it's more about like also an equilibrium, let's say. Also, if we think about all the humanity right now, the 8 billions that we all turn into just like plant-based food. Unfortunately, also there's going to be another consequences because also we are breaking another equilibrium. It's not that I'm against.
Like what consequence do you mean?
Like because there's going to be like the soil is going to be also like overworked. No, if we just think about like hey how we are just going to be producing.
Can I
like
interject there because well it's not about that, but like let me just clear that up right away because the reality is when we think about farming animals, we just assume we're farming just animals. But most of the crop agriculture, which is agriculture of vegetables, is done for the animals. Yes. So
I read that like 80% of the soil that is harvested is destined to.
yeah, and actually a lot of the soil degradation is happening because of the crop production that we do for animals because
That's for sure, yeah.
it's just one type of agriculture, whereas for
Agriculture, there's
humans we farm so many other vegetables and types, right? So like I don't think that everybody going vegan would have an issue with. We would actually have way more. Like there's a study done by the IPCC. I don't know if you know IPCC. It's like the Intergovernmental Panel for Climate Change. If everybody in the world would be vegan, there would be 75% more land left for us to use however we want. So we could either use we could do land sparing where we left it grow greens and thus curb climate change even more, or we could grow more to feed even we could solve world hunger really by that. But it's not about necessarily about the environment because like farming dogs would be better for the environment, but nobody on earth would want to do that. Like most people on earth wouldn't want to do that. Let's put it this way, and you would agree with that. So it's strictly about them as individuals, as their rights, right? When I want to speak on their behalf. So how do you feel about them as individuals? Do you think it's okay to farm them when they have dreams just like we do, when they feel just like we do, and when they have desires kind of just like we do? Of course, different because we're all different. They're also different in that way.
No, I totally understand, and that's why I mean I agree with like vegan movements and everything. Like so, then it's about like the rights. Of course, in this case, we are also talking about what we give priority to, no? And then also, like from an anthropocentric point of view, we always think that we are better than the other species, and that's why we continue these kind of systems.
Yeah.
So that's the only issue.
But when you say we give priority, are you implying that we should first tackle human issues and then this issue, or what?
No. I was referring that we give priority to whatever we need as humans. So then that's why I'm saying like that we consider the other species like lower than us, and that's why we take advantage of it.
Hey, listen, I take priority. Yeah, and so in a sense, I agree with you, right? My life is priority. If we were in a desert island situation, all three of us captured, and I would need to eat, I would probably kill any of you and eat you, right?
Definitely.
So it doesn't.
Who we
so
are.
in situations of emergencies or when there is a need, you can justify doing pretty horrific things to support your need. But in the day-to-day cases that we're at, we don't really have a need for animal products or to do what we do to animals. We really just do it because we want to. It's a form of either convenience
and
or
it's a privilege at the end. Like how many of the population at the end they really have access to meat?
Exactly.
It is a privilege.
I thank you for saying that it's a privilege to eat animal products because a lot of people think it's the otherwise, but the reality is that it is a privilege.
It is a privilege.
It's very difficult to stop an habit, and especially an habit that has been, I'd say, gained only recently. Because, for example, I came from Italy and I come from Veneto region that since the 50s was one of the poorest areas in Italy.
Yeah.
And my grandma, granddad was saying, like, having meat on the table, it was a quite rare thing.
I come from Romania. I completely understand. Yeah, we once a week, once every 2 weeks,
exactly.
Something like that. Yeah.
After the 60s, when there have been, the industrial boom, the meat was on the table like once per day.
Yeah.
And so it became so intertwined with our cuisine at the moment, so that's very difficult to say that without. And also, I can tell that being vegetarian in Italy, but I think also elsewhere, is also perceived as something less, let's say, virile, like.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
like less macho, let's say.
Who gives a shit about that, right? Like,
but
like it's perceived as being if you're being like full of yourself, cocky and violent, somehow you're perceived as macho. I think that's a ridiculous reason.
It's underneath.
But I don't know if you live your life by what others think
No, I don't.
or
That's-
place labels on this kind of things. I personally don't, and I agree with you on a lot of things that you said. The only thing I want to be clear is that you know, we like to think of ourselves and our choices and everything we do, and we talk about meat and we talk about this, but when we say that it's hard for us to change, we should also consider just how hard it is for those animals if we don't change. Because when we don't change, these animals, they literally, they're hell on earth for them. They let me put it to perspective about dairy cows, and a lot of people don't realize. I used to think that dairy cows, we just live in communion with them, and like we give them food, they give us food back, right? But it's so far from the truth. I don't know, like, do you know why cows produce dairy milk? Why cows produce milk, for example?
The cost for milk.
Why
Yeah,
they produce
yeah.
milk?
Yeah.
The
It
same
was
reason you
like-
would produce milk.
Yeah. I mean, it was just like to breastfeed, like.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So do you think that they decide when they want to?
No, and it's like a hormonal treatment that is horrible. Like if you keep like, and they are doing.
It's not even
like,
hormonal treatment. Let's
Yeah,
imagine
no.
the best case scenarios.
They are just
It's
like-
literally about they have to be pregnant, they have to have babies.
Yes.
So farmers, they forcefully impregnate them. Like the
Yeah.
procedure, I have actually video if you want to see that. The procedure goes like somebody literally puts a giant glove on their hand. They put their hands in their anus to hold their cervix, and then they inject bull semen in their vagina. And there was even like a really fucked up video these days. You've heard of the Haktua girl, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, so there was a fucked up video of a farmer trying to make a joke where he's like Haktua on a cow before he was forcibly impregnating them. Like this is how much we disconsider them as individuals, that when we rape them, because this is literally rape, we make jokes about it and we think it's funny. So that's one thing. When the babies are born, what do you think happens to them?
They cannot breastfeed. They get killed.
So the first thing is, they cannot breastfeed, so they get separated from their
they get
mothers. A
separated.
lot of the times you will see in a lot of farms that they are kept separate from them for this particular reason, so that they can control how much milk they drink. Some farmers, they let them drink. Most of them, they don't. Most of them, they either milk the cows and then give them milk, or give them a substitute for milk, whatever. But they have to control that, which is already kind of messed up to be separated from your mothers. If they're born male, they get killed because they don't produce milk. If they're born female, just like their mothers, every year they're impregnated. Every year they have their babies taken from them. And when the farmers can no longer do that to them, because no body was built to be impregnated every year, after 6 years, they call them spent. Again, another way of how we see them as objects, because we call them spent. And then they get killed. And they can live up to 25 years. So a quarter of their life where they're treated like objects, where they have their whole individuality stripped away for some products that we don't actually need. And my point being is that when we buy animal products, what we're doing is we're going there to the supermarket, we're giving our money to them, and that money tells the farmers, do more
No, of
what
course,
you're
it's
doing
like
so
it's
that I
the
get my
production,
product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
System. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
where do you guys want to sit with this? Do you guys, like, I understand what happened in the past is in the past, and I don't care about that. I'm not here to judge. I used to be part of it too. What I want to understand is, what do you guys want to do going forward? Do you want to participate in this, or do you want to just say, no, I don't want to be part of this. This is fucked up.
No. I mean, I have tried to then reduce my consumption, and that for sure. Even it's a slow process, because I have done it. But yes, it's like, and as I said, like also like in here or like in a lot of countries, it's a privilege. So then, like, I don't take that also as for granted. So no, I reduce little by little.
But
Not
reducing
like-
is great, by the way. But keep in mind that when we reduce, we're
Still,
still
like, part of
participating in
the-
this. We're still, some animals will still going through that. Will still go through this for us.
Yeah.
And if we don't want that to happen, the only way is to go vegan. It's the only way. And by the way, you can get absolutely amazing, nutritious food. You can have food satisfaction. I'm a foodie. I love food. I have days when I don't eat the whole day so that I can eat a fuck ton in the evening. That's how much I love food, you know?
Yeah.
And like, like you can get everything that you need from plants and plant-based products. There's a slight difference in taste for some, but we gotta ask ourselves, is that really small difference in taste worth putting those animals through this?
Yeah, I know. No, I totally get it. No, I'm with you. Like, and I saw how you also did it in terms like with the golden retrievers, because also these are like the breeds that they also like most of the people
Yeah.
feel like, oh, they are
I
so
love
cute.
golden retrievers, yes, I know.
Because they are like so
Golden
like
retriever
dull and
vibe. Yeah.
and everything. So no, it's good that you start questioning this to all the
Yeah.
random people and like how you portrayed it.
So
It's
let me
good
ask
to
you
create-
one hard question. It's really hard, okay? And then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
How many more animals should be exploited for you before you change?
No, well, none.
None. That you gotta go vegan. How about you?
Same.
Same. Man, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
open-minded people. Let me give you some resources to help you out, and then I'll give you 2 cards, okay? I'll give you one and one for you. And let me just say, you have the most important speech you'll ever hear. That's a really cool video to watch. And The Minion is a documentary which shows you what animals go through.
Okay.
If you don't want to watch that, I couldn't personally watch that. Watch the most important speech you'll ever hear. You just gotta scan this QR code, and it's on the top 3 videos. These 2 are on the top 3 videos.
There is also the new film that actually it's not even new that is now on Amazon. Farm Society.
I have not seen that one.
No, it's one that sparked a huge debate also in the European Union.
Oh, interesting.
In Brussels about the harvesting in Spain of pigs and stuff, and how there are the lobbies that are lobbying for consumption of meat.
Farm Society? I don't know about that.
No, probably it's not from society, but it's I can't recall.
I
the
know
name.
Pignorant.
How's the name?
Pignorant.
No, there's not the one.
So Pignorant is a documentary also on Amazon Prime, and it's about what happens to pig farms, and it's actually biological pig farms, and it's an investigation done last year, so you can rest assured that it's new, and it was done in UK. But yeah, I wanted to say one more thing. One more thing you have there is a thing called Challenge 22. If you hook up to it, if you just subscribe, they send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan.
Okay, that's a
And
nice.
it's all free.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
That's all it is. I just want to tell you, you have so many resources. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have several resources.
Food for profit.
Food for profit. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll have
yeah.
to watch that. I haven't watched it.
That documentary speaks about the lobbying going around in the European capitals, lobbying and the parliamentary members as well as in the EU. It's something that is on top of my list, but I still didn't manage to get
Yeah, I'll watch it too. That's a good one. Thanks for the recommendation. Okay, well, thank you for having this conversation with me, and it's nice to see you. Listen, you guys are open-minded people, okay? We don't get a lot of those. You have more of a responsibility. I know it's sad. You were born with a gift to be open-minded, but you gotta make changes, okay? We gotta respect animals because they don't have choices. Our choices influence their lives, okay?
Definitely.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a good one. See, good conversations. And by the way, I might just have one more conversation in me, and that's it. This was a net positive conversation, St. James. Yeah, this was a really good conversation. The LPN says, cheap matching the vibes today, except for the girl that I made cry earlier. Oh my God, yeah. Who are we to assign purpose to someone else's life? Well, that's such a good point. That's such a good way of saying it. Roller coaster day today, yeah. Hey, Chip, says Keisha. Hey, nice to see you here. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. Hey, you guys want to try a social experiment? Are you okay being live from my YouTube channel?
Sure.
You want to come closer so that you're in view?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. What's your name?
Jordan.
Jordan, nice to meet you, Jordan. I'm Chip. What's your name?
Jay.
Jay, nice to meet you. I'm Chip. Where are you guys from?
The U.S.
The U.S.? Where in the U.S.?
Northern Virginia.
Northern Virginia. Oh, my sister lives in North Carolina, so I always ask, but I've never been to Virginia itself, but that's cool. Okay. So I'll just turn the sound around and you tell me what you think. It says animal abuse should be legal.
Should be legal. That's
Yeah.
your opinion? Oh. Why?
Okay, let me explain my situation. That's the easiest, I guess. So what I do, I'm a dog farmer. Have you ever heard of dog farming? So I'm part of Elwood's Organic Dog Meat. What we do is we farm I personally farm golden retrievers. There's other farms who farm other types of dogs. I farm golden retrievers. What that means is I bring them to life, and when the time comes, usually at the age of 1, because they don't grow up more than that, I put a bolt gun to their head and slash their throat, and then I use them for food. And their skin I use for clothing.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I see where you're going with this.
You see where I'm going with this?
I mean, yeah, no, that's uncomfortable.
That's uncomfortable. Yeah. So yeah, you understood that it's a reverse psychology experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is that uncomfortable, but somehow it's comfortable to do exactly the same thing to any other animal?
I mean, I think because we've been socialized to believe
Exactly.
that. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that. But do you think that? I understand that we've been socially conditioned to believe that it's okay, but do you think that morally, is it okay to do this to animals?
It's hard because I eat meat. I think morally, it's hard. I think part of me wants to say it's not moral, and the other part of me wants to say it depends. I think
What does it depend on?
I mean, I think it's again that socialization that I have, right?
Yeah.
I eat meat along with other things, so it's hard to say that this is a bad thing that I do myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody wants to acknowledge that something they're doing is
Right,
inherently
exactly.
bad.
But
yeah.
I think when you look at it, just case in point, right in front of you, without all of the context, it does feel immoral.
Yeah, it does because.
And I think also when you have people that like actually get to know the cows or actually get to like, my dad is vegetarian his whole life, and he just turned vegan a few years ago, and he was vegetarian because he used to have a pig in his farm in South Carolina, and he's really close to that pig, and the pig got slaughtered and killed and eaten by everyone, and then he never ate meat again. So when you have those situations pretty early on, I think that's pretty impactful for people, and they feel exactly the same way as you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I think people are so far away from the production and from seeing that, it's easy to kind of separate yourself from it.
Oh, I get what you mean. So, and far be it from me to judge, right? Like, I used to be part of it too. I used to participate in it too. The only reason why I sit here on the street and I have conversations with people because I also turned vegan, because I realized that it is fucked up what we do to animals, and I could never morally justify it to do it for myself, especially given that I have other options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm trying to get exactly the same questions out there to people. So
Yeah.
you see it as it being fucked up. I know there's a part of you that says maybe not because you want to continue doing it, but if you try to separate that part a little bit for yourself, I'm just trying to understand what exactly is, if it is fucked up, why continue doing it?
I think access. And with access, like the prices of food. So we just walked by Eco Plaza, and at Eco Plaza, like to get organic meat or like grass-fed meat or whatever, it's way more expensive than your regular groceries. A lot of grocery stores don't have it in excess, and then also just traditional thinking of access. Like a lot of people don't have access to regular grocery stores with regular food.
But
So
organic
hard
meat, it's
to-
still abusive, abusive, and
No,
objectifying
I agree.
animals.
I
Yeah.
agree. But I'm saying like even those options that are deemed as healthier is hard to get to for a lot of people. So I think then taking the extra step of not having a diet that includes that and knowing, okay, well, how do I still get the nutrition that I need, the vitamins that I need, the minerals that I need in a place that outside of meat, I think a lot of people just don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of factors that play into it.
I completely understand
But,
that. Let's say if I provide you with the right resources to help you with that and to be within your budget, would you see it as a moral obligation to stop putting animals into these places where they're treated like objects?
Would I see it as a moral obligation if you gave me all the tools that I
Yeah,
need to do
yeah.
it? Would I see it as a moral obligation?
Yeah, like would you see it as a moral obligation literally means that if you
Yeah.
don't do it,
Yeah.
you're acting against your own morals.
Yeah. No, I get it. I don't know if I would see it as a moral obligation. I would see it as something that I morally want to do, but an obligation, not necessarily.
Can I ask why is
I
not
think it
moral
would feel like
obligation?
an obligation when it feels like everyone is following this obligation, but when it's just me, it just feels like this is a moral choice.
Oh, I
that
understand.
have.
Maybe it's a little bit of a terminology thing, obligation, when it comes to obligation. I guess.
But I do feel more strongly
I
to morally follow that.
I guess my question is a little bit in the sense that could you think that what you're doing is okay? Could you still think that buying animal products is okay if you have all these resources available to help you out?
No, I mean, I think, exactly. Like, I think if people have the access, if they have the education early on, if they know, okay, I need to get protein and I can get protein from all of these other sources, blah, 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 then I think, it would be really easy to not. Again, I think we're socialized to do that, and also we're socialized to eat other things, and then we also have big corporations that are telling you these are what's nutrition and this is not, especially in the U.S. So I think there's a lot of factors at play, but I think if we have everything in front of us, I think it'll be really easy to not.
Let me give you something then, because I'll give you exactly that just now. Can you hold this for a second?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're also tourists here?
No, I live here.
Oh, you live here?
Yeah.
Oh, even better. So you live here. There's so many options here, huh? It's so easy to be. So this is a map of Amsterdam with vegan restaurants.
Yeah.
Organized by how
nice.
healthy they are. Not all of them. These are some of them. I recommend vegan sushi bar. I went there 2 days ago. It's delicious.
We went here last weekend.
But there's a lot of them that are pretty good.
Nice.
What I can give you is Challenge 22. It's free. They hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day. They help you go vegan.
Yeah.
And they hook you up with somebody. They help you stay within your budget and everything that you need. You just gotta want to go vegan. That's all it is, and they help you out.
Very cool.
Okay, can I give you this?
Yeah.
And then I'm just gonna ask you this hard question, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
How many more animals should be exploited for you before you make this change?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Maybe like one more.
One more, really? One
I
individual?
mean, let's be realistic, right? It's really hard for someone to just snap and change, right?
Listen, I
How many
appreciate you being
people
honest
are-
with me, but
yeah.
how many do you want? Let me ask you this.
How many do I want?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, no, none.
Yeah.
None. But just being realistic, you know, people have to move into it.
I
It's a
can't
hard
police
thing
you
to
what you're gonna do. You do what
I know,
you wanna
I
do,
know.
but
And if I go in this direction, you know, I wanna go in that direction. But yeah.
I hope you
anyways.
make changes because you know, the reality of the most fucked up after you go vegan for a while, because I've been
Yeah.
vegan for a while, and especially when you speak up for animals, you realize that the worst atrocities we committed throughout human history have been for exactly the same reason we do what we do to animals.
Mhm.
They come from exactly the same place.
Yeah.
It's a form of accepting what we've been taught, being ignorant towards what it is, and not challenging what we've been taught.
Yeah.
And that usually leads to saying, well, we don't really care about them. If it were dogs, we would, but if it's these cows, we don't. Like, we
Yeah.
don't ever have a logical justification for what we do. We just go with it because everybody goes along with it.
Yeah, and again, we're not like close to it. We don't see it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
What got you into being vegan, and then also at this amount, this level, like being
Yeah.
out and talking to people about it?
So, well, I'm a person who enjoys, I don't know, being challenged on conversations. That's why I became active, especially. And I went once and I did activism, and I really enjoyed it. So that's why I became an activist. But the reason why I became a vegan per se was learning what dairy cows go through. I was a vegetarian for a long time, and then I learned what vegan is. I learned what dairy cows go through, and you know, I had to watch a couple of videos. The first time I watched it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. The second I was like, okay. And in time I realized that, yeah, it's fucked up what happens, but that's not what I pay for.
Yeah.
And at some point I realized, but that is what I pay for. I don't know. It's just watching enough that I at some point make the click, and I'm like, shit, that is what I pay for, and I can't justify. I can't sleep at night knowing that I'm choosing for these beings to be raped, to have their babies taken from them, because that's literally what happens. And for dairy cows, in order for them to produce milk, they have to be pregnant. So farmers, they rape them. They literally forcefully impregnate them. They don't call it rape, of course, but it is, because they don't consent to what they do. Then they have their babies taken from them. If their babies are male, they kill them. If their babies are female, they do the same thing as their mothers up until they can no longer do it. And when they can no longer do it, when they can no longer impregnate them, they kill them. And that's around like 6 years, and they can live up to 24, 25 years.
Yeah.
So it's a miserable quarter of a life that I would be supporting for such beautiful beings, such sentient beings who feel, who emote, who think, and who there's a somebody behind those eyes. That's how I like to say it. There's a somebody behind those eyes, and for me to put somebody in those positions, I just can never justify it. Like, I understand the whole world does it. I understand it's fucked up that the whole world does it. That's why also part of the reason why I fight. But I could never sleep at night knowing that I'm part of it.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Yeah, that's kind of what got me into it. Like, I just couldn't.
How many years?
It's been either 3 or 4 years. I don't know. A lot of people, when they went vegan, they're like, "Oh, this is the day." For me, I didn't mark it. I was like,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years, something
Wait,
like
did you
that.
stop
Right after
cold
COVID.
turkey, or it sounded like it kind of was a
Overnight.
process? Overnight.
Overnight. So the minute that click was in my head,
Yeah.
I didn't throw away any animal products that I had in my fridge.
Yeah.
I just never ever contributed to anything else.
Yeah.
What I did was I went to the supermarket and I bought absolutely all the yogurts that looked like had the good nutritional values that I wanted, and tried the ones that I like for taste. I tried all the plant-based meats, everything. I tried all of them, and it was quite a nice process, by the way, because I had to try all of these new foods.
Yeah.
And then I found the ones that I like, and I made it convenient. So the first thing for me was making it convenient for me.
Yeah.
That was the first step, and then I looked into making more nutritious, making it more delicious and everything. But convenience and nutrition was the first thing for me. So that's what I did. I just looked for how to replace the ones that I normally buy with what I buy, and then it became easy, because then I just had a process. I already could buy the products I would buy before. Just no more animal being objectified.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you for having this
Nice
conversation with
meeting
me.
you.
I hope you
Yes.
make changes, okay? And I hope you do too. I don't know how much of this conversation you've read, but I hope you do too, because no animal wants to be put into that position, okay? Nobody wants to be objectified. And there's no difference that counts between us and them. They're literally just like us in all the ways that matter. Again, they think, they emote, they want to have social life, they want to have babies, they want to love, they want to feel all that. In fact, if you play music, you'll see cows going, being curious and listening. If you throw a ball to a cow, they'll bring it back. They have zoomies also, just like dogs do. They're very They're cute, beautiful animals. They don't deserve all this.
Well, good luck with them.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. You guys agree with the sign? So it should be legal to abuse animals. Yes, everyone. Hopefully no more baby steps. Another good conversation. Yeah. I thought it was a good conversation, but I think I need to go to the bathroom now, and I'm reaching also a point where my patience is no longer that good. It's a natural stopping point when I reach this place. Yeah, so thank you everybody for being here. I hope you got something out of these conversations, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe, hit that like, you know, do all that beautiful thing. And yeah, I was a dog farmer today, huh? Organic dog meat. If you have a problem with farming dogs, you should have a problem with farming all animals. If you have a problem with objectifying dogs, you should have a problem objectifying any animals. No animal deserves to be treated like an object. None of them. No human, of course, also, because humans are also animals. So please, stop objectifying animals. Stop paying for them to be treated like objects, for them to be treated like resources, for you to get whatever it is that you want to get, okay? So if you're not vegan, go vegan. It's easy. If you need help, you have all the resources in the footer. You have absolutely everything you need in the footer. If you are not convinced by everything I said or everything I do, that's okay. You know, I'm a stranger. Again, as I tell everybody, I'm a stranger to you. You have resources in the footer to watch. Don't let time pass by. Don't let yourself be part of this abusive objectification of animals. It's not worth it. And I'm telling you this as a person who has lived through it. I actually was a carnivore at some point even in my life, and I can tell you that I went where I'm at now the best I've ever felt, and not just because of the nutrition or whatever, but most importantly because I feel like I'm on the right side of history, and it's important. I don't know, it's important to me, you know. I think it's, if you ever struggled with a purpose in life, this could give you purpose. It's a good one. I don't know. But don't do it necessarily only for you, do it also for them, because they deserve that. They deserve moral consideration. They don't deserve to be objects. Yeah, it's sad that we treat them that way. It's sad that we let big industries like this objectify them. It's sad that we turn our blind eye to it. It's sad that we look away when that happens, and that we just thoroughly accept it. It's sad that the values that we were taught, we don't question them. We should. But anyway, I digress. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And if you're not subscribed, hit subscribe. Yeah, and as Alexandra says, leave a like, everyone. I appreciate you, Alexandra. And I appreciate everyone for being here. Have an awesome day. Live vegan. Do activism. Thank you for everybody who donated. Thank you for all the moderators who have done a great job moderating. Thank you for everybody in the chat. As I keep saying, we're all a team here, you know. I know there's a lot of people who come into the chat and they spout their opinions and they go left and right. Well, we've been doing it for thousands of years. What about all the animals? You vegans don't care about the small things. What about avocados? And all the things that we have heard time and time again. All the arguments that we have heard 30 times. I thank you for having the patience to dealing with them. I thank you for telling everybody, what can I tell you, for discussing it with them. The reality is none of us were born vegan, or at least hopefully, but we all had to get there somehow. And it's important that we treat these people with patience, because the reality is when we talk about non-vegans, they're not really non-vegans, they're pre-vegans. They're pre. They're on their way there. They're on their way to respecting animals. So with our patience and with us working together, we'll get them there. And we get the word there. We'll liberate all the animals, and that's what we want. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I fully appreciate you. And as I said, live vegan. I appreciate you, everybody. Bye.